There we go.
Invite.
I see that. I'm trying to get our camera on there. Hey guys.
Hello.
I cannot figure out how to get this on here.
Shayla made all these big plans and she didn't study this.
Yeah. Okay.
Rural 2IC. Musgrave. Grounds Family Farm.
Hey guys. Sorry, I'm trying
Farm
to
to
figure out
table.
how to get people on here. So I invite. So how do I send them the link though?
We got a large family homestead, I think, trying to
I hate
come over on this
technology.
live. I don't know.
I hate technology. Just copy the invite link and post it to the top. Okay.
How's everybody's Monday going? Mondays can be pretty rough sometimes.
Oops.
We got Farm to Table.
What's up, guys?
Dang it. I'm trying. Why is our sound not working?
You get the mic plugged in.
Oh, I never did that before. Okay.
For some reason, our mic's not allowing our.
I'm technically
speaker to work
challenged
tonight.
sometimes.
Pretty easy once you click the link.
Oh, we just popped right up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had this experience with Jax.
Yeah. Cool. Do I need to find them and nobody on here too?
Oh, I don't know. Said they'd be here. All they gotta do is click on the link.
Yeah.
So how's everybody's did anybody say anything to my question? Oh. How's everybody's Monday going? I know last week it was a long weekend and Tuesday became Monday and Tuesday was a rough day.
Our mic.
Those first days back after long weekends are pretty rough.
Oh, that's key.
Can y'all guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
It was a Monday. Just getting back in town yesterday from Homestead Expo, and then last night with the lives, and up at 4:40 this morning to head to work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were y'all at the Missouri?
Yeah, up at Ozarks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got home yesterday afternoon and unpacked, and then jumped on a couple of lives and hung out with Jack and them last night. Yeah.
Oh, there's Brian. Brian and Danielle, I think there's a link in here. If you just click that, you can hop on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched your interview of Joel Salatin or how you say his last name? Salatin.
Yeah.
That guy is a marketing genius for Farm to Table.
He is. He's definitely that. He was actually so open and so just chilled out compared to the first time we met him. So it was.
I think he came over to our booth. Is he a lawyer or was he a lawyer?
No, but his.
That wasn't him. Oh, maybe.
No, he's he's kind of unassuming. If you didn't know who he was, you could walk right past him. But,
yeah.
Yeah, he was straight across his book signing table and everything was straight across from our.
There we go. Sorry.
Hey, there they are. What's up, large family?
If you guys don't know large family, they are a large family. They've got 10 kids.
More than double us.
So say we can't get them and Restoration Farm in the same place. That's
You go to eat with both of them, and they probably charge your tip would be double the gratuity.
yeah.
They did that with us the other day. We had, there was 10 of us with all the kids, but I'm saying then there'd be like 24 people. That's cool.
Got like the oranges in here.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
He's Josh is I think he's from Alabama originally, if I'm not mistaken, or one of those southern states, and he lives in Alaska now. He's got a pretty good channel on gardening, and he's got honeybees. He's very he says he's new to honeybees, but he's very knowledgeable to me.
Mitchell in here. Hey Mitchell.
Mitchell from Hendrickson Family Farm.
A bus just hit a wagon with some. Yeah. We have another friend that lives pretty close by, and they have 10 kids as well. They do have a bus.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hello.
Oh, hey, this is Chris with the Homestead Rendezvous.
Hi guys.
Howdy there.
How's it going?
So she can.
The one that I was supposed to contact.
That's the one you were supposed to contact. Yeah.
I'm forgetting to email you about volunteering for Friday.
Oh, you guys going on Friday?
Yeah, well, he won't be there. He's
I'll
gonna
be at
work,
work.
but I'm gonna bring the boys up there. And
Oh,
whatever.
cool. Brian and Brooke and Bailey will be there, but we have to stay back to milk the cow.
Yeah. Oh, which brings me to my point is on you guys is you guys are into dairy cows, and it's amazing that you guys can get that done like every day.
Twice a day.
Yeah, and you guys explain how you guys do that, how you maintain that with everybody.
Hey, Amy.
Yeah, so we have a total of 7 people in our house that can milk. So pretty much we have a schedule. 3 people go over, 3 in the morning, 3 at night. And so we just rotate it, and you follow what's on the schedule. That's just how it works. It's just the easiest way to avoid argument over who's milking the cow.
How many are y'all milking?
Just one right now.
Oh yeah.
I can't even get 3 kids on the same schedule.
Yeah, but you have all boys, right? It's
Yeah.
all boys. I think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
My 2 oldest are girls, and then I have 3 boys. And I don't know if I would have survived with just 3 boys. Yeah, I give you guys all credit.
I always wanted all boys, and now that I'm like, man, I don't have anyone. I need help cleaning and stuff. Which they do help me, but
Yeah.
my mom a lot more.
They don't help much. They're savages.
You're the savage. You're messier than all 3 of them.
Yeah, I was warned about boys when they become teenagers, and now I have a 15 and 13 and 12. So it's getting there. They're messy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife didn't know what she had all girls when we got together, and then our first grandchild was a grandson, and she's like, I don't know how to deal with boys.
Yeah. Some great.
Chris, how's the couch?
What?
How's the couch?
Wonderful.
They've been a couple of years without a couch. They've been living in their travel trailer.
Oh shoot.
Or whatever that is.
Yeah, so lived over 2 years in a travel trailer, and it was awful. And then we built a 20 by 12 shed into a little tiny home, and this is our first couch.
Oh, that's exciting.
Nice.
My
Yeah.
parents did that for how long were they in the trailer? 4 years?
2 or 3.
4 years. So
Wow.
it was, yeah. There's definitely some cons to it. I mean, they had a house that they could go into for certain things, but it was not what most people have.
Yeah. Well, the first 3 months we were here, he lived in the front seat of his truck. 'Cause
Mitchell said.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
Mitchell said the boys are easier. You can knock the fire out of them.
That's
It will if your feelings hurt.
Hey, Louisiana Farm or Louisiana Life. I always want to say farm for some reason.
Now, Shayla, I got to give y'all a little bit of grief. I was hoping that the shirt was going to be in today because I seen Jack with his tumbler last night, and I get to the mailbox and there's a little brown envelope from the mail carrier said I owed $2.65 postage.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Dude, I went on stamps.com.
Made him buy a shirt.
Oh, I'll send you $2.
Don't
$3.
worry. No, don't you worry about it. I already put it in there, and I ain't worried about that. It's worth it to get the shirt. Yeah, I was like, took me a minute. I'm like, what's this? And I seen your name on top, and I'm like, read it. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna give her a hard time tonight.
I just wait them all out. I don't understand how it.
Nah, I live. I don't know. Sometimes I question our post office over here. But anyway, but yeah, it was. I should have it tomorrow. I hope. So
Yeah, man, I need to make sure no one else. No,
Well,
gift cards.
Well, if Shayla didn't put enough postage and you get a letter, let us know.
yeah, like I said, I'm not worried about it. That's. But, I just had hoped to have it on tonight. I was going to show it off.
Yeah, you're not that far. You think they would have already got there? I guess because of that.
And every time I got home, it was already closed.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they send the letter to the receiver
Yeah, that's weird.
when they owe
I don't know.
to the person who sent it.
It didn't make sense to me either. I'm like, it mailed, but then I was like, well, I didn't know if you went to the post office and did it, or if you, did it through one of the sites or whatever.
Stamps.com, and then we just dropped them off, and maybe they didn't scan them in right away.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. But
Well, that's good to know because now I'm gonna make sure for next time that whatever went wrong, I have to call them and ask what.
Oh yeah, like I said, I like Keith typed in for me. I'm just funning. It's okay.
You're gonna have to get some more mint shirts. Amy wants one.
I sent her one.
Oh,
Didn't tag, but I see you all. Hey, Jennifer.
Xander. Xander is in here.
Hello. I sent you one. I can't believe you haven't got it. You're like an hour away from me. I should have just drove it to you.
Probably short on postage.
Probably. I need to go check the P.O. box. There's probably like a list of postages that I gotta go mail Pooch's meat tomorrow, so I'm gonna go up there and check.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. Chris, what's happening new with the rendezvous?
So I'm getting the POS system set up. I went and did flyers all weekend at Tallahena, Wilburton, and Morris, oh, and Hartshorn.
Go check the mail.
Chris, you're sounded. I don't know. I can't hear.
Oh, sorry. I have you on my.
I really can't hear.
Sorry, our alarm is going off.
Is that better?
A little bit.
Xander from again? Nevada. Like, didn't he say it was cold? Like northern Nevada or?
Sorry if our alarm was going off because Brian walked in the office. We have motion detection.
Hello, Brian.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
How are you?
Good.
You don't have to stay.
Okay.
Figured if you interrupt.
Come in and see what's going on.
Yeah.
We just watched a video on that. What was it called? The box. Oh, I just blanked out.
The
I have
butcher
it.
box.
Oh yeah, butcher box. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was nice. We ate for free that week, pretty much.
Can't beat that.
It's nice when you get a larger YouTube following and sponsors are just writing you, and you're like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
did."
That
Azure Skater reach out to y'all too.
Who is?
The Azure.
Yeah.
Azure.
Well, we for a long time they hadn't, and then I think just 2 months ago
Yeah.
Yeah, they was a couple months ago.
they wrote to us, and they so on top of like the 25 that you get when someone uses your link, because that's for
Yeah.
everybody. They also
Yeah.
give us now $30 a month just to buy something new and show it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
nice.
cool.
They have a really nice
Wow.
program.
I've only
That'd be
bought from
pretty
them
nice.
once. I always forget to put my order in, and then I
Our,
get an email
We had
the
a
last day.
the guy we bought our property from ended up being really good friends of ours, and he passed away from cancer on us. But he used to be the
Director of
director in
Our
our
area.
area of
Okay.
Azure.
Yes.
Peter said their first frost 14th of August, first snow dusting a week later on Saturday. After that, went back to 100.
He must be in like high country in Nevada or something.
Y'all got room? I may got some time to pop in.
Man.
Fine with me. You just gotta click that link up above.
Is my sound better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man. Yeah, we can hear you now. So as we were asking, how's things going around the booth?
Good. So I did go to the free fair in McAllister on Saturday. That kind of wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It was supposed to be livestock shows, vendors, like 4-H exhibits, but there was 14 vendors.
No.
So we walked around. We talked to Shannon. And he's supposed to be getting me a map of the expo center. They just had one written up. And then we flyered. So that's pretty much it for right now. Of the POS system.
Yeah.
Will y'all have an ATM there?
What's that?
Will y'all have an ATM there or nearby?
They do have an ATM right there in the building, and he said it's loaded with 30 grand all the
30 grand. Woo.
I know. I was like, huh.
That's extra information.
Let's just hope that he has to refill that thing.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The
I
one
know
that
that
was
was
from us
question.
never has money. We need that one.
Right?
That was always a big question with the Okie homesteading. Do you have an ATM? They couldn't get one there.
Yeah.
Oh, they actually have one already there that's
Right. That's helpful.
available all the time.
We also had a shortage of 240 volt outlets.
Yeah.
we did.
I guess I caused a big fight between a food vendor and keeping it Dutch. I didn't even know about.
Oh,
I
no.
live in a little bubble.
I don't know. That was wow. Yeah. Of course, yeah. You had to think about a welder. That kind of needs that.
We didn't talk to them beforehand, but then I guess she didn't think we were going to use it the entire time, maybe, or maybe he was, but we were first, and so they told him, and I guess he wouldn't cuss Dutch out.
Yeah.
Like, golly.
Yeah. Some people don't.
You know, I seen that guy. He had his own generator. I guess he just wanted the outlet, you know. But
Right.
he was able to food vend and stuff. So I couldn't have done my booth without an outlet. I know
We
that.
didn't plan for it. And it would have been way too annoying.
Yeah. But Chris, you got the T-shirts in, didn't you? Got them done or?
The t-shirts, yes, that was today. The order went in.
Hey, guys.
I didn't get my banners. I heard you guys got yours, but I did not get mine.
Okay, well, we'll have to give Dwayne a hard time.
Well, I already did, and
Oh.
I talked to him yesterday, and they went to his house.
Oh, oops.
So yeah, we missed the free fair with that, but evidently it wasn't that big of a deal because there wasn't that many people there.
Oh, okay.
So we did get Big V as a sponsor.
I've seen
We
that.
did get so this is a really weird story, and you guys can take it how you want it, but Big V Feeds called me on Friday and said, we want to sponsor you. We're super excited. When can you come pick up a check? And I said, today. So I jumped off work. We flew to McAllister. And on the way, right next to Big V, there's a radio station. And I said, oh, look, a radio station. And Dodge goes, we should get the phone number. And I said, yeah, I'll look it up. No big deal. I'll call him. Didn't think anything else about it. Picked up the check from Big V and turned around and was coming back. Well, Dodge pulls in the parking lot. And I'm like, what are you doing? I said, I told you we'd get the phone offline. And he goes, I just wanted to see if we could get the phone number. And it's just like a U-shaped driveway. No big deal. He pulls in. And there was no phone number, so he goes to pull out, and my phone rings. And I said, I picked it up, said hello, and it's the guy from the radio station. He had got my flyer from the expo center.
Oh,
Totally unrelated. Like, not even, we don't know these people. And I said, it's really kind of funny because I'm sitting in your parking lot. He said, what? Why are you in my parking lot? And I said, because we were trying to find your phone number. He said, well, do you have a minute to come in and talk? And I said, yes. And we went in there and he was like, well, this is what I want to do. So for starting the 16th, we're going to be on the radio, 101.3, I think. 4 times a day for 11 days.
That's great.
wow.
So it'll be, and he said it hits 4 states.
Okay.
That's
So,
awesome.
yay.
Yeah. I hope that'll help get some more people in.
Yeah, I think that'll be awesome.
Probably you and a few people, that'd be worth it right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally worth it.
And,
It was just very surreal how it happened.
right.
That's crazy.
It was very crazy.
Totally not.
You probably thought you were stalking him.
It was weird. And he said, I don't even know if you can afford this, and I said, you know what? I think I'm supposed to be here.
That's cool.
I'm here for a reason. So,
Don't waste some money to get
yeah, it was just weird. It's even weird talking about it because it just happened so crazy.
Yeah.
Mitchell said, is everyone from Oklahoma? So, no.
No.
You guys can tell them where you're from. We
They're
got
from
Texas.
East Texas,
Yeah.
not far from Oklahoma.
Where's Rachel from?
Ryan, are you from Arkansas or Photo?
Well, from Oklahoma, but yeah, I live on the Arkansas side. Keith lives in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're about 50 miles apart, 50 miles apart. But yeah.
Area. I tried to get him to move down there. But
We almost did, but the neighbors didn't seem real friendly, and you had to drive across their property.
that was in
That was my photo.
it was by Photo, but what was that creepy town where all the graves were on top of the dirt? Worcester?
So it was
Worcester. It was
a little bit.
started, started with an L, I think.
LaFleur?
Yeah, it was LaFleur.
Maybe
There was
Yeah.
all these graves up on top of
the
it.
graveyard is on top of the mountains,
Yeah.
basically. So we just covered with rock.
Well, you would have definitely been remote down there.
Where's Chris from?
I'm from Utah. My
Okay.
husband's from Texas, and we've been here 2 years.
Okay. Are you in McAllister?
Nowhere Ty Valley.
Okay.
So it's
Where?
out in the stick.
Yeah.
Where at? What state?
We're
You
in
in
Oklahoma now, but we are very remote. Like,
You can't get there from here.
yeah, you can't get there from here. We're about 40 miles from McAllister out in the mountains.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Pretty
I think-
down there.
Yeah. What'd you say? Hartshorn? I think that's the area that's closest.
That's the closest is Hartshorn, yes. And that's about 20 miles.
So,
I
yeah.
like it.
Hey, we
Jen.
drove back from Broken Bow one week. It was like on a Sunday.
Mhm.
We didn't pass a car for an hour and 45 minutes on a 2-lane highway.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was nice.
Wow.
Bob's back. Hey, Money Pit and Appalachia. I saw them on here earlier. Bob came back.
Yeah, we're all originally from Pennsylvania, so people in Texas still don't understand us half the time. They talk and they're like, "What did you say?" We don't fit in at all.
Do you guys come from like Amish or Mennonite background at all?
No, I mean, we were like 40 minutes from Lancaster, so we were near the Amish, but no.
Did you ever interact with that community at all?
No. I mean, I think we went to one of their farmers markets often
Yeah,
and
we
bought
would go
some
there
jellies they used to can before we knew anything about canning, and we're like, "Ooh, look at this!" You know. Now we do it ourselves.
Like, he's from Weatherford, Oklahoma, and there's a lot of Mennonites that live over there. And I miss that we had Mennonite. There was a Mennonite store in town, and we could always go to buy stuff from them. And I wish we lived closer to the Amish because I'd like to.
I work out near Shota, Oklahoma, in the Amish community there, and there's a little Amish dairy I stop and get. Are we reverbing?
I don't know. That 1 second.
But I stop and get milk from them every now and then. I think it's $5 a gallon, and
Wow.
they have yogurt and hamburger meat and chip sausage and stuff like that.
We can't. There's nowhere around us that sells raw milk for less than like $10 a gallon.
Oh, wow.
And that's the cheapest. There are places that sell it for $15 a gallon. So when our cow is dry, we spend a lot of money in milk.
Now he's got a
He's
lot of dairy cows. I think he sells most of his milk to the commercial market, so he's making a little bit more selling, direct to consumer. What he does sell.
Mitchell said there's some Mennonites up by us in Stillwater. And we were just up there in Perkins on Saturday.
Oh, someone buys raw milk for $3 a gallon.
I'm just getting hustle. Hey guys, $3.
That's crazy.
Our closest dairy sells hers for $7.
What's the state regulations in Texas on raw milk?
We don't sell ours, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
not
even
sure. I did talk to one woman at the dairy, but she was saying that like they needed a different license for every product that they sold. So she said that they actually cut a lot out of their inventory because of it.
I actually see a lot of people selling it as pet grade milk.
Yeah.
For pets only. And then,
So that might be why it's a little more expensive there, because it's harder for them to reach consumers.
Yeah.
Because like in Oklahoma, you can sell. I know it's at
Why
least
would
100
you
gallons
down?
of raw milk a month.
Wow. What?
Oh man. It's hard to find any more people that'll sell the raw milk just because of the headaches with the with the states and stuff. I mean, it's.
You can barter.
I know. I don't know if he still had. I know Keith had a guy near him for a while that he could get it, but I don't know if he still does. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: it's definitely better than pasteurized milk. And
Oh.
pasteurized milk will give me a stomachache.
Oh, that's what they were talking about.
We haven't had pasteurized milk in years. I don't even.
No.
There we go.
Hey,
I didn't. I had to scroll down.
Oh.
Like I'm like I don't know.
I was falling asleep.
Oh,
I looked at that earlier when you told Dakota, but I didn't. On this little screen, I just scroll down.
There you go.
I'm
How's
not,
everybody going?
I'm not that
No,
technology savvy.
Same way.
Believe
I can be if I want to be, but I
I
don't
can't
care
even
to
say
be.
that
So
word.
I
I'm
just
gonna
do
come up
it.
with a redneck word if I try to even pronounce it.
You're right, Amy. I finally got on here, huh? I've been sitting back there for like 3 hours and you guys didn't even see me.
He's like, what does he want? See my hat?
When someone says look in the basement, they're waiting to get on.
We're learning.
Yeah.
Uh,
How's everybody doing?
pretty good.
Good.
Did you have a good trip?
Yeah.
Did you guys
Yeah.
drive?
No, I flew down. Angie stayed here to take care of the animals. Her dad was here too.
Oh, okay.
So I went down to visit mom and my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got back yesterday.
When you got animals, it's hard to leave for any amount of time.
You know, I can leave. I've got neighbors that can help out for a few days for sure, but it's our dogs, Willow and Coda. They're inside animals, and so they got to go out. And so somebody has to stay here, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
Our dogs is pretty much. I mean, our dogs live outside, but they're pretty much the only thing that hold us back. Everything else is pretty well.
Yeah, like our pasture pigs is as long as we've got grass on the ground, they're fine for a couple days. Goats are fine, cows are fine.
Right.
Separate vacations.
Yeah, we take separate vacations in a way. Yes. Except for when we do YouTube meetups, then we both go, but we still have somebody stay here that tend to the outdoor animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dogs usually go with us.
Right.
Yeah.
Cal would be holding us back.
yeah, we don't go on any vacations.
Yeah, that's why.
Our
That's
boys go away a couple times a year. They're slowly working through the Appalachian Trail. So they hike like 7 days at a time. They'll go over. Where are they now? They're up in the North Carolina part now, but they're trying to get through it before the boys are 18.
Your kids or your husband?
Ryan and the 3 oldest boys, yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
We had friends out of Minko, Oklahoma, and they went and hiked. I think they made it about 3/4 of the way through. That was it was neat watching all their videos on that though.
Yeah, the boys would love to just do the whole 6 months, and Brian's like, I have to provide for you all, so we're not doing that.
They got out of debt. They built a tiny home. Then they tried to raffle it off in Oklahoma illegally, however they do that in Oklahoma, a legal way. And then it didn't work, and they ended up selling their home. They bought a camper, and then they went off, and I don't think they were gone for like at least a year.
Which I thought it was crazy. So when they were going to raffle their house off, what they did was a essay. You had to write an essay on why that house would benefit you and this, that, or the other, and you paid a fee to enter. I think it was like $100 or something to enter. You write this essay, and the essay wasn't even that big. It was like 500-word essay on why it would benefit you. And I guess and the rules were, if they got a certain amount of entries, they would go through with it. But if they didn't meet a certain amount, they would just refund the money.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I guess they didn't get enough people interested, which I thought was crazy. It was several acres. Wasn't
8
huge.
acres.
Yeah, it was like 8 or 10 acres and a little house
well worth $100.
It had a dugout style shop that was probably 2-car. Just like a 2-car garage in the side of a hill, like a concrete
Well, y'all can just look it up. But they're called Ruthered 4, the number 4 Adventure.
Okay.
They're really cool people to follow. They're Christian and they're just very inspirational. They're really cool. I mean,
We were kind of bummed
They
out when
moved
they
to
didn't get enough
Colorado
people
and-
because we wanted to win it.
they're just, I mean, they are the definition of entrepreneur. I'll put it that way. They're just pretty cool.
Right.
I need
Yeah, it does go all the way to Maine. Yep, they started in Georgia at the beginning.
Yep.
And they
Uh-huh.
Georgia. I'm trying to think. No, they're in Tennessee now. They did North Carolina. They're in Tennessee. Yep.
Yeah, they've been twice, I think, now.
Yep.
They try to do like a state, I think, every time.
Well,
right?
no, the next, I think Tennessee is like 300 miles or something. So they won't do that one shot.
One time.
But yeah,
That would be so much fun.
they do have a lot of fun.
This is like 30 years ago. My dad said, "Hey, I want to take the grandkids to hike the trail." I said, "No, Dad, you don't even go camp in the tent. No. You're not taking the grandkids out there."
Too many years in the Army ruined hiking for me. It's like if it's any more than just a mile or so, I'm out.
You're tapping out back to.
I'll tell you what, me and Levi did a little survival trip. Probably, what month was it? It was still pretty cold out. There wasn't leaves on yet. But anyways, we did a little survival trip in 2 days out there. It was rough. I mean, we literally took about 8 ounces of jerky, and we had to harvest our own food while we were out there. We did end up getting a couple of nice ducks and eating them. But it was fun.
I think everybody should learn how to do that a little bit. They'll survive like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we actually used the gizzards from the birds for bait and made a throw line and caught 2 catfish the last morning, but we were headed out that morning, so we decided just to turn them loose. But we could have ate the next day too.
That's good.
You was talking about jerky, Dakota. There was a person up there at the when I talked last night about the ice cream, but they had a lot of goat meat stuff. They had snack sticks that were goat meat, and man, it was good. They made it like a jerky stick. Yeah.
So we got all these goats, and we haven't actually harvested a goat to eat on our homestead yet. But we had a wether we were planning on doing it with, but one of our hunting dogs got a hold of him, so he's on the mend. He's going to heal up from it, but he just won't ever be fit to eat. So he's going to be like a companion for the billy goats or something.
He was already small
Right.
to begin with.
Yeah, he was a little small, but what we were gonna do was we were gonna bone him out and try to find somebody that had some lamb fat, or if we were gonna get some fat back from our steers, but the butcher forgot. So we were gonna use like some of our own beef fat and make gyro meat. We were gonna make some gyro sausage.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't got any of that on my. I learned the hard lesson about a goat. You got to have more than one, and it lasted about 2 hours, maybe an hour or two, and it jumped the pen that my son-in-law had it in, and it either became coyote bait or somebody got a free goat. I don't know which.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was watching the Walkers the other day, and Gary said while he was running down the road, a guy stopped him. He found a wrench or something in the road, and then a guy stopped him and asked if he'd seen a pig. And the guy was hauling his pig to the butcher, and it fell, or the back gate opened up and it fell out.
Oh no!
Oh,
You're putting all that time and effort into feeding a pig, and it fall out the day you're going to butcher.
remember when I had my piglets? I was selling them here, like a month and a half ago? Okay, well, the very first person called, he wanted one of the boys. I said, okay, because he wanted to breed them. So he come over, he picked them up, and he put them inside one of those pet carrier, the big screen ones.
Mm-hmm.
And he wire tied the door shut. So he took off, and like an hour later, he called me up. He goes, Tony, he says, you have another male pig? I said, yeah. He goes, well, that one's gone. And I said, what? So here I'm thinking it died. Yeah, and I'm like, the pigs are healthy. What are you talking about? He goes, no. It got out of the cage, and jumped out of the back of the truck going down the road. These are piglets. They're 10 weeks old.
Yeah,
But what he said was the cars that were behind him were actually all the way home. So it had to have happened on our road, which is 2.5 miles long, to a paved road, that it had to jumped out. And they just didn't even notice it. So, but he ended up buying the other one we had, and I said, that's an expensive board, So every person that showed up in the same cage, and I said, guys, you need to wire tie those or zip tie all the way around, and everybody was doing it.
That the other day,
on those dog crates, you got to zip tie every corner
yeah,
Yep.
we have.
or every hinging point, whatever.
We had a leftover pup. He's a year and a half old. And we haven't done anything with him, and so I just gave him away to a girl that had bought puppies from us before. And I put him in that kennel. I didn't even know. I get up in the seat, and my kid's like, "Oh, that dog's not in the kennel." And I look in the rearview mirror, and he's frozen on top of the kennel.
Well, Amy's sitting here because she came, I think she was maybe the day after that happened, and she came and picked up her pig.
Yeah.
And we made sure that she did too, make sure her thing is all zip tied everywhere.
Put 20 on every
Yep.
side.
Yep.
We made sure Diesel was tied in good after that story. Yeah.
But, yeah, if you zip tie it good enough, I picked up bottle calves with those things before.
It's a bottle
Right.
cap. Aggressive like a dog or
They're
a pig,
strong.
but yeah, I guess he's a crazy one. Tater didn't get out. He was pretty crazy at that time.
Yeah, yeah. Our Red Bull, I brought him home in one. He was crazy.
When are you guys going to Chandler anytime soon?
I was just there today, but I forgot to. I only went for like 5 minutes. So I just picked up shavings, but I'm there. I don't know. I'll probably be back there again on
3-4 times a week.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, I've got to, whenever I got to get hay, and I think that's one thing I got to get because the hay's running out.
Do you go to Lincoln County for hay?
Yeah, well, it's just close enough to me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I went down to Shawnee feed down there, and their hay's like within $1 of what they are. It doesn't pay for me with my diesel run down there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, finding good quality square bells is hard to do without going to a feed store or something because just not many people are doing it unless they have a contract with a feed store.
Right.
I do
What do y'all pay for hay in Oklahoma?
I think
Well,
it's
I
$12.
think, yeah, I'd say we haven't bought square bells this year, but I'd say $12 would be on the low end
Yeah, I think it's like $12.50 for a. At least I thought that's what it was.
this year.
for grass.
Yeah.
Have you bought alfalfa this year?
Uh-uh.
I don't know. I think last year
it was like 19.
19 or 20 was cheap last year.
Yeah.
We pay for alfalfa 20, and then we get the big round horse quality hay, and we pay 90. We pay 90
Yeah.
for those.
What's the price of
Bad
those
for alfalfa.
grass
Or for
alfalfa mix 3x3x8s?
180.
Yeah, we were buying some it was like Timothy.
Oh, the ones that I bought and paid?
Yes.
Oh, 150.
Yeah, I
That's
think it was
cheap.
140 or 150. But 3x3x8s of alfalfa, and it had some kind of grass in there. I think it was Timothy grass, but it was mostly alfalfa. And we were getting those for like 150 last year.
We buy ours from a Mennonite gentleman down the road, and he's really the cheapest. Everywhere else is like way more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think our local feed store buys them from him, so they charge like $15 more than him.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was funny that Chris mentioned Big V because that's who we were using for all of our feed, and then our feed store stopped carrying them all of a sudden. And We're like, you can't just go changing our food on us.
Big V's got really good cattle cubes. I know that.
We were buying.
We use them.
Yep. Now we can get them. So
Yeah, and their rabbit feed's supposed to be the best. There's a guy up in Bartlesville. He's got very good show rabbits and meat rabbits, and he will only feed Big V feeds.
yeah, our cows loved it. All the Big V's.
We should have tried to get him to go down there for the rendezvous.
Yeah.
He would have been a good speaker on rabbits.
Yeah.
He got a rabbit here.
Yeah, my rabbit person backed out, so.
Oh.
I wonder if he'd be interested.
I have two
Yeah, I have to.
We used to be really good at rabbits, but we haven't really been doing much of it in the last 6-7 years, even since we moved on our homestead. Well, I mean, we used to be good at reproducing rabbits. That's our goal. I
know everything about rabbits.
We just haven't focused on it in several.
I just got
years.
my chicken coop done today, though, so that's my next project is the rabbits.
I've got to get more egg layers, and I need to get meat birds too.
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna try breasty hens this time.
You know, I thought of the same thing because you can actually get the eggs, raise them, and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to remember who the heck. Somebody I know did that. I think Lisa at Yogi Hollow Farm did that, and I need to ask her what she thought about it but they take longer to grow out.
Don't they lay like 3 to 4 eggs a week once they're laying? Like they're not great egg producers, but they're decent.
I think so. It's like 2 or 3, but I was going to ask her about it and I never did. I need to call her. I mean, I forgot what it was. The hens were like $15 a piece. And then the rooster was like $25 a piece. It's crazy for the birds, but if you can get endless meat birds out of it,
right?
We actually have someone speaking on that very subject. Marcia Fender is talking about what she's came up with and the production versus the eggs and everything else, and it's a different breed than what I've ever heard of. I'm not really sure what it is. I can't remember, but yes, she's got this great plan.
I need to find more about it. And what was it? What were they called? Breese?
The Bresse, BRESSE.
I think anything that can sustain itself is the preferred choice for us, because I don't know how practical it is having to rely on a hatchery for your chickens every year, because bird flu and everything going on. You don't know if you're planning on in a few months I'll get those chickens and I'll hatch them. Well, if you're waiting a few months, there may be a shortage on chickens and you're not going to get them.
Right.
So, and speaking of Joel Saladin, I watched a video where he was saying that all it takes for a chicken to not get bird flu is to have access to green grass. That's all it takes to prevent bird flu.
Right, and covered area, basically.
On stuff.
Yeah. Now, they the ones that get them, especially I work in the commercial side, and those houses, while they've got cool cells and fans and stuff, you've got 20,000-30,000 birds in a house, and it's they're in there. It just doesn't take much.
Might as well be an incubator for a virus or something.
Right. It just doesn't take much for that, to go in and wipe out a house,
Right.
So, and I know down here, I know when we even think, if they go in there and they find any sign of bird flu, they go in and exterminate that entire
every one of them.
Yep. And that's what people what a lot of people don't understand is they go, "Oh my gosh, bird flu's killing all these birds." I mean, you've got more experience in it than I do, but I've heard it been told that sometimes people will say they've got bird flu, and
we've heard we've heard that, somebody comes in and we've heard that same thing. I can't validate it. I mean, I don't work in that department, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to get the insurance, pay out.
And I've I've been around, agriculture as far as the grain side of it, growing up here and there, and I know for a fact people will intentionally graze their, put insurance on a crop and graze cattle on it till it's not viable, and then claim the insurance too. There's a lot of that on large scale farming that does happen.
Yeah, the people that I grew up around that row cropped, had large scale crop and everything. Oh yeah, trust me, they were praying for hailstorms or ice, anything that would knock that crop out, because they would make more on it on the insurance than they were on the market.
Yeah.
And it's,
that's a crazy balance that you have to keep. You have to keep a balance between, sustaining your agriculture, but also it gets to be a like a socialistic thing to where people abuse it because, well, it's being handed out. It's easier than getting the combines ready to cut it.
Right.
And there's a lot of federal subsidies that go into these insurance companies that keep them going, or else it just wouldn't make sense. You couldn't make a claim on your roof every year and put money in your pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my insurance rates jumped this year, because all the storm damage and everything. Yeah. But it's and it happens that way in the flocks and everything with those chickens and things of that nature, because storm comes through and rips off the roof of a house, and they lose that house. Well, insurance is going to pick that house up, and oftentimes they will have got more for the damage and more for the chickens than what they was going to get on the. Some commercials do by the pound, so depending on how much the bird weighs when it finishes out at the plant, and we do monitor weight, but then there's some that pay by the square footage. They get paid for so many,
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's just depends on their contract and what the deal is with them. But it's the only day I've ever seen any of them happy is the day we've picked their birds up and they've left. I mean, that's
Yeah, there's been a couple times when we've seen some 40-acre farms or something that had chicken barns on them. We're like, hey, it's an income property. I'm like, man, I couldn't raise 50,000 chickens. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's our company, and I won't say out loud who, but our company was started. It was a private company, and it was owned by this family for years. And the owner, his whole thing was he didn't want there to be more than 4 houses on a farm was his max that he wanted, because he felt that 2 to 4 was the maximum that a family could take care of and actually raise good birds. But now with the new ownership and everything, and things changed. I mean, we've got 12 house farms, 8 house farms, 10, and you got 3-4 guys out there working, and they can't cull at the proper rate that they need to be able to, because that's all they would do is just cull birds, and they wouldn't be able to get anything else done. So it is a challenge. I think personally, I watched the small little 2-house guy that's been there for 20, 30 years, his quality of bird versus that 8-house farm where, they can't possibly keep up with it all. They consistently raise a better bird.
I know what needs to happen is the federal government and the state governments need to mind their own business on some of this. Because, hey, if I could raise a couple hundred birds a year and sell them locally, I would gladly do it if I could make $3 a bird. You know what I mean? Just to be providing for the local community. If I could make $3 to $4 a bird, I would do it. But the problem is you can't get a USDA butchered bird and sell it for less than like $30.
Yeah. I'm not sure what what Leah with Homestead about. I'm not sure what she's selling hers for, but I do know she's raising them, USDA processed, all that stuff. And yeah, I think it's pretty good price for the bird. Yeah,
Gotta be expensive.
Yeah, those people down in Norman do it, and it was 26 or 27
You would almost have to.
for a whole chicken.
You would have to raise a lot of birds yourself, and you would have to become the USDA. You would have to get USDA certified yourself, so that you could just do the butchering. I don't know how you could afford to pay somebody to process chicken.
Yeah.
We did turkeys last year. We were going to do a class to go with it, and just to cover the cost of the turkey, it was $70 just in feed.
Right.
No, I don't think it was that much.
I
We
mean,
were gonna get, oh wait, no.
That was to make like $20 a bird. I think it was about $45 to $50
Yeah.
between the
We
the
were
bird
gonna
and
do a
all
shark
the feed.
class.
yeah.
It was about $45.
Yeah, I know that in conversations with higher ups within my company and a conversation about things, it was always the profit margin, even on a big company and a corporate, is the profit margin is so thin.
Yeah.
That you can have a bad year, things just fall off, or you lose an account or whatever, and then all of a sudden your year just went upside down. And now that was pre-pandemic, a lot of that stuff was, and it stayed thin. But now what our commercial side is getting per pound on the bird, it's like amazing amount of money they're getting per bird on the market. Now that ain't what the farmer's getting as usual, but our side is, the business side is doing well with it, but so seems to be we're still getting a paycheck on Friday. So I mean, it's
Yeah, and then people don't realize this, but turkeys are sold pretty much at cost or a loss, and they're contracted by the grocery stores just to get people in for the holidays to buy all their other stuff.
Mhm.
So like, there is absolutely no way, not even a commercial barn could raise turkeys and sell them at $25 a pop.
No.
They eat so much feed.
Mitchell
Yeah.
said there's exemptions in the state under so many birds slaughtered before you have USDA. I think it's like 150.
right. Yeah, and each state does. They're going to have those little, some of the what they call cottage laws, things like that, where you're under a certain limit. But the same thing with that, I'm sure they can't ship that. They can't,
Yeah, they hamstring you to your farm. They say, "Oh, you got a farm pickup." Well,
That's the way the dairy is here. That's
we live in a world of conveniences, and they know that. Like, you can't just take them to the farmers. When you take them to the farmers market, you got to have that USDA label on it.
Right. And that's, and or even to sell them in any kind of, like you said, if you've got like a farm store or something where they're selling products raised locally, yeah, same thing. You still got to have that to put it on their shelf. So I mean, it's so yeah, it makes it impossible. Well, I ain't gonna say impossible. It makes it extremely difficult for the little guy to turn something like that.
Your customer base just goes from being everybody, because if I could take those to the farmers market, I could sell them at a price that pretty much anybody could buy them at. But once you get at USDA, your customer base gets this big, because then it's just people who are like, have the financial ability to be more conscious about where they buy their food. But not everybody has that ability.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of having the internet nowadays. People can come to your farm and pick it up. Yeah, I'm down with the bartering system.
Yeah.
I had a friend today. She has dairy cows, and she just brought me 13 or 14 pounds of butter. So then I gave her ground beef, and she also brought me 4 huge boxes of pears that a friend gave her. So, I mean, that worked out.
We're going to be
set on
having
butter for a
She's
while.
going to be making a bunch of pear butter and pear sauce.
It's
You
really
guys
a way to go, because we talk about it with our older daughters. Like, when you guys move out and you go homestead, and because they both want to, we're like, we should all focus on one thing, get really good at one thing, and then we just trade.
That was what my mom and I were just on the phone talking about, and then and that was on one of our last lives too.
Here's one thing that I want to get really really good at. We haven't been good at like the gardening. We haven't really put in full effort on gardening since we've been out on our homestead. But one thing that we've been successful at is putting meat in the freezer, and but we're still going to the store and buying meat. Like, okay, right now we don't have pork in the freezer, so we go to the store and we buy pork. So over the next year, what we want to do better as a homestead is we want to try to put every ounce of meat in our freezer from our farm.
Yeah.
That way, the only time we're eating other meat is if we have to stop and eat at a restaurant or something.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Now, you was talking about the bartering, which, I mean, that's really ultimately something we all need to be good at, and have something we can barter with. But Chris, I know that you're going to have, I think you said a seed swap and livestock swap and a farmer's market down there, correct?
Farmers market for sure. I've not had too much interest in so far the swap part of it.
Okay.
Still encouraging people if they're wanting to, bring things, trade, seed swap. I think that's an awesome way for us to get to know each other, first of all. Second of all, I think that will help us as a community tremendously.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's something that, of course, I mean, not being able to have a lot of influence over that necessarily everywhere, but the more of that stuff we can do when we have these gatherings, where people can meet up and do those things, I think the better it'll be for the whole community. Yeah. So,
Well, y'all, we're gonna head out. We get up super early, so it is time. So, but thanks for having us on.
Yeah, we appreciate you stopping in. And if anybody's here and hasn't checked out their channel, please go check it out and subscribe if you like what they're doing.
Yeah, just so you know, Chris, we've been promoting the Rendezvous very hard on every live stream and even community posts. So we're and even the meetup we were at, a bunch of local homesteaders meet once a month around here, and we told them about it this past weekend too.
Yeah.
So
awesome. I think Keith has reached out to you about doing a live on y'all's channel or something. I don't know, or maybe through Chris.
I think Chris said something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Whenever you guys want, just let us know.
Okay. Keith's been the one that's been making the chats. I'm just over here talking.
Okay. Yeah. Give us message us, and Chris has my Facebook, my direct Facebook, and also our email is in our bio, so you can
Okay.
Get it either way.
All right. Yeah. I'll get with Keith, and I'll have him reach out probably tomorrow to see what we can set up. But,
sounds good. All right. Have a good night.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
See you later.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, find that Ailman family.
Ailman, yeah.
Find that.
Who is RH?
Tag that and post it.
Who's RH? Do I know that person? Do you know that?
I think they were in last week.
I posted the link. Did you?
So there's another homesteading channel that I've been watching for a while. I posted in the community tab, but I know
Thanks
lots
for
of people
stopping in, Neil.
don't see community tab posts and stuff. So I'm gonna have Shayla post their link in the chat. They're very much into the regenerative and organic lifestyle. So they're crazy. I mean, they like rotate their pasture pigs and their chickens and turkeys and all these things daily. They put a lot of work into their channel or into their living, because they're actually out there living on the land, and I think they deserve some more subscribers and stuff. So we're gonna post it.
You ever seen the channel The Max?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to rotate their animals too to feed themselves and everything. I like what they do. He used to talk a lot about that before. Now he's more into more political and stuff that's going on right now.
Right. Yeah, I know when we were talking with Sean and Beth Dougherty, they were talking quite a bit about the rotation and moving things around. So that seems to be a pretty common we're becoming more common practice to rotate around the grasses and stuff. And they were telling me that, I mean, which is on our interview, they're telling me basically that, they have a dairy cow. They think that's kind of the center piece, it's the dairy cow, because they use the milk to feed the other animals as well as themselves, make cheese, butter, etc. And they said, just one cow, even on an acre, that's, quite a bit of time that cow can graze that. And then you move it and it's done its business and it's going to grow it back. And they said, you'll never run it out of grass as long as you rotate it around. And
Right.
And depending on what kind of grass you have, will depend on what kind of animal you need to be keeping, whether you got the rough stuff, goats are better with it. If it's grasses, cows and sheep are better with it. Chickens needing to get the little bugs and rotate their stuff around. And it's like, but they said all them animals, the pigs, the chickens, all of them will drink the milk. And so,
yeah, that's why we really want to get more land, because we've pretty much maxed out our land for goat usage. Now they've converted it to nice pasture. We need to be able to rotate them onto some more weeds and stuff. But
it's really cool how they all work together, though. I mean,
when we moved onto this property, we didn't have hardly any good grass. We had like sage grass and ragweed and horse nettle. That's pretty much all we had. And between the cows, the goats, and the pasture pigs, we've converted about 80% of it to Bermuda and crabgrass. So, I mean, I'd rather have prairie grass on small acreage. It's not going to work because you're going to overgraze that prairie grass. But we didn't start with prairie grass. So started with.
I know I need to do a video on the before when we got here.
And what's crazy is we've ran as much as this year. We were running close to 1,000 pounds to the acre up until middle of July when we moved them, or end of June. End of June we moved all the cows down to the neighbors. But when we had pretty much everything here, we had about 1,000 pounds to the acre.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's cool. Like
You can only get it.
grass, and then the goats eat the weeds, and then the pigs come through and pick through the.
And if we didn't have our neighbors, that wouldn't be sustainable.
Yeah. It's, of course, I mean, we're fortunate. we were talking with people up in Missouri, kind of this region with the amount of water and the amount of things of nature that we typically get, how much you can sustain on an acre versus, people I've known that live out west, and they have to have thousands of acres to be able to sustain, their livestock because they just don't have the grass. But hey,
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
All right.
yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to have to jump out of here because that 440 alarm is not going to be, sympathetic to my cause. But I'm sure Keith will stay in the chat. He'll be over there. So it was fun chatting with y'all. And good seeing y'all again. We'll see y'all later.
See you, Ryan.
So I seen your son won pretty big in their game the other day.
Yeah, they did. They did really good. So to be a smaller school like they were, they did really good.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to decide what to do moving forward because we're homeschooled. If my boys want to play football moving into the future, they'll pretty much have to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
these schools are getting rougher and rougher. So.
Oh yeah, our school is ours goes to public school, and it's it has its moments for sure.
Yeah. But one thing I keep going back to is, they're going to have to live. They have to live in the world. We have to live in the world. We're just not of the world. So.
That's what I said. Everybody talking about going to the private schools and the charter schools, and hey, you're gonna learn life. If you're gonna learn life, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, there's my nephew.
What's up, Uncle?
I was actually going to call you next couple of days and talk to you about doing a live too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. get together.
I should have brought some spray. Them mosquitoes are out.
Sure. Hello.
Chris Hall, you're muted.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Oh,
How are you?
I just wanted to tell you I love your stream. I found it for the first time tonight.
Oh, good. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And I watched I have mental health issues, but I lost a cousin of mine of a drug overdose on July 28th.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Sorry to hear about that.
So I came on here to make new friends.
Oh. Where are you
Awesome.
from?
Oklahoma.
Oh, you're
Oh,
in
yeah.
Oklahoma?
We're from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What part are you in?
Kind of close to Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. We're about an hour away from there.
Do you mind if I drop my number in the private chat, guys?
Sure.
You may not want to do that sometimes. People do
I don't know.
wrong with that. I might do
In
that.
the
Oh, in the
chat.
private chat. He's smarter than I am with the.
Oh,
I
okay.
I
don't want to
in
do
the
it,
private
but
chat.
you're welcome to.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
I put it in the private chat for you guys.
Okay.
Josh, how's the weather up there?
Oh, it's pretty good. Been flirting around. We've had a bunch of frosts.
I'm
And
gonna
now
take myself off camera. I'll be listening.
okay.
All right, Chris. See you
Thank you
later.
for letting me. Thank you for letting me on, guys. It was nice meeting everyone.
Okay.
What days do you guys go live?
We're trying to stay on Mondays at 8.
I'll try to come on next Monday.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
All right, man.
How's the weather up there, did you say?
We're in like low 40s generally in the morning, and then 60, high 50s, low 60s for the high. And had a bunch of frost already. Our frost date to frost dates. What Almanac says is 90 days. Generally, it's been a little over 100 what we get out of it, squeak out of it. But this year was 92, I think. So that was it. I didn't have to weed whack the potatoes. Generally, I got to cut the potatoes so they'll go to harden. But the frost got them this time, so I ain't got to worry about weed eating this time. So they already killed them, so
All right.
let them harden off. But yeah, it's nice. Can't complain about mosquitoes, but we get a 7-month break from mosquitoes, so
Yeah. Well, I see one of them things probably fly away with your hat.
oh yeah, them suckers. I should have brought spray. I was sitting down. I'm like, dang it, I'm already gonna regret not bringing spray.
Oh,
Yeah, is it warm down there? I know. Well, most of y'all down, in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
73 right now.
Except for Louisiana Life, I think LSU. I would, I mean, unless you're a transplant, I'd say
Come on now.
Hey,
LSU.
Scarecrow.
No.
Come on now. Hey,
Yeah, we're all part of the SEC, but
yeah, they're gonna be all right.
yeah, I'm Auburn fan. We lose all the time.
I bet you get
Part
the
of
short end of the stick in the SEC.
Part of life. I don't even care. Like, hey,
Yeah.
We get a good
OU
year
may
every
be in
10.
for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish-
it ain't looking.
I haven't kept up with college football in several years, really, but I just can't see why OU, I guess for money, leave the Big 12.
It had to be.
It just doesn't make sense. They're not even going to play Bedlam anymore. They're not going to be playing OSU, which if I was going to watch any game, that would be it,
Right.
Yeah, man, it's all messed up. Since I hadn't watched it in probably 7 or 8 years. This year's my first year really like back into it, and a lot of stuff's changed. And now they're paying. It's 100% legal now. I mean, everybody knew they were getting paid behind the table. Like, we'll buy you this house, and it's just it's not giving you money.
Yeah.
It's a house. It's a house. It's
why
not.
they go to.
But now it's flat out. They get paid whatever. I mean.
That's why when you go. Everybody at Alabama was driving Dodge Chargers. for the longest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not paying them, but everybody, yeah, like what? What a tax write-off or something, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, but so that's kind of it's kind of is what it is, I guess. I mean, they do a lot of stuff. I guess whatever. They feel like it feels like the college guys feel like they should get paid, but I already thought, I was thinking, I thought you got a free ride scholarship. That generally is a heavy thing there, but I ain't go to college neither, so I don't know. I mean.
Well, one thing I would say about that is there's not as many of them get a free ride as you think.
Okay.
But like a lot of them are walk-ons. A lot of them are there without scholarship. A lot of them are partial scholarship. But also, these colleges do make a lot of money off their football programs. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to think like LSU or Alabama, a school like that. I don't know. There's probably numbers out there tell you what they make, but it's tens of millions of dollars.
Oh,
maybe
yeah, I'd say
probably. I didn't know that. Like when you go to college, my daughter got a full scholarship to go play softball at a junior college. But at the end of every semester, whatever money was not used, they didn't roll that back over to the new semester. They just give her that money. They just direct deposited that money into her account.
Wow.
So that's basically like getting paid. So I'm sure it was a lot of that went on ahead of time, before. A lot of money left over for some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just say, But yeah, so.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool to have Oklahoma and Texas in the South. I mean, because I'm from Alabama originally, and it was never a thing, But it's kind of cool. I mean, I guess y'all are no offense, y'all are skirting the southern line. No, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all are real on the outside. Of course, who's to talk? I'm in Alaska, so. But no, it's cool. I think it's cool.
I don't know. I think if you lived in Oklahoma, you'd agree it's the southern state.
No, I know. I've only been there one time. I only went there one time. It was very flat area. I don't even know where I was. I was like 10, but it was but it's just flat and just nothing. I'm like, man, this is like, I don't want this. I never like
eclipse the panhandle.
Flat. I'm like, hey. I'm from Alabama. It's not like we got mountains, but my gosh, it's just there was nothing. I'm like, man, I don't know about this. This part of Oklahoma, but no, like with Johnny and Christine and all them, y'all are 100% Southern too. I would call y'all. Not that what's my opinion matter, but
Texas, so I get to be Southern.
I thought that was Texas first and then Southern.
Yeah.
Right? I think you Texas first and then you're Southern.
There you go.
Texas.
Yep.
But and no offense, but it's always funny when they're it seems like Texas and the 48 forget that they're the second biggest state. It's funny that it's like y'all don't forget, like we're 2.5 times bigger. 2.5, like literally cut us in half. Texas would be the third largest state.
That's the thing that's really appealing to me about Alaska is you can get isolated really fast.
Real fast. No,
I'd move up there.
It's very and like I say, anywhere you go is pros and cons. I don't want to come off like Alaska's peaches and cream and everything's wonderful. There's pros to cons any state you go. But yeah, you do feel like like for the first year or so once we got here, you feel like you really feel the like holy smokes, like especially when you look on a map, like a full map of North America, and you see how far up on top of Canada, which is the same size as the 48, the states. You have that whole distance to go, and then we're up there. So it's just like it really are like holy smokes, man, we're way up. It is then that's cool, but there's like I say, it's cons, pros. It's not all. I try to be honest on anything I talk about. Because there's a lot of, misinformation. Not that that's ever been a thing, but, about Alaska, in the shows, the TV shows, like Swamp People. I know y'all know like Swamp People on History Channel. Everybody know about that. That was going on forever, and they're like, the gators are out for blood. I mean, that gator don't care. All he wants to do is get off that line. He don't care,
Yeah.
But, gator's like a frog, dude. I used to, man, But then they act like bears are around, like, oh, they're gonna, whatever, dude. It ain't. But it is cool. It's some things. It's it's the freedom you can go.
Hey, I've just seen this video. I just seen this video where this bear was supposedly attacking these two guys in Alaska hiking, and the guy ends up shooting himself twice and injuring himself, and the bear didn't even injure him.
Yeah, that's one of them trigger happy fellas. I mean, I've never been in that situation, but
I mean, the bear was right there next to him, dead. So I reckon I believe the bear was going to attack him, but he still.
Yeah, at least he got him, I guess. But yeah, I try to avoid shooting myself. I mean,
definitely,
it's a lot harder to do with a single action revolver than a lot of people like 10 millimeters real popular up here. It's like 50-50. You're either on the revolver side or you're on the 10 millimeter side. I got both, and I kind of, depending where I'm going to go, is what I'll carry.
10
But
millimeters.
I like a wheel gun though. I'm more of a revolver guy personally. I don't know why we get on the subject, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, that does happen probably like once or twice probably about once a year, maybe once every 2 years. Somebody inevitably gets attacked by a bear. But moose actually attack more people than all bear attacks combined. All the three, we have polars, grizzlies, and black, all the bears. All of them attacks combined, moose do more than moose ain't, man, they're ornery suckers. Especially get out here, they want to get in my stuff, and I generally gotta persuade them to move on. little rougher than just being like, shoo, they don't want to go. A big heifer, so like a cow is like 6 foot at the shoulder, so a bull will get over 7+ feet at the shoulder, and then you got neck, head, and horns. So that sucker, he's on up there. I mean, you're looking up, you're way up there. But
you ever watch Steve Rinella Meat Eater podcast?
Mm-hmm.
There was that one where I think he already shot the bull or something, and ended up charging. Actually got him a little bit.
Yeah, I seen that. And it was just a little. I mean, for a bull, it was a littler fella. I don't mean that he was stomping snot out of you, but he put his head down. That sucker's like a bulldozer, and he'll just bushes and everything. It don't matter. He'll just push through everything. Yeah, he's like, whoa, whoa. No, him and the camera guy had to book it because that thing stood up right when they got next to it. They're like, whoa, whoa. They had to book it. Boy, that moose come up after him. But yeah, they will definitely. I see. Oh boy, down here, he ain't got no clothes. Skiers are gonna hit you. But
hi.
You see people
he's picking his nose.
Hey, don't pick your nose on television.
There's somebody in the basement down there.
Oh.
But yeah. So anyway, I don't want to. Whatever y'all was talking about.
Take it all the time.
Yeah, this one doesn't like. You get those ones. He's the one that's like clothes are overrated, which I kind of can't believe him. I kind of can't believe him. Yeah, this is number.
Take it all in while it's still warm enough.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's about not being able to. We ain't got much longer, and he ain't gonna be out long, whether he likes it or not. So
look what Angie's posting.
Picking boogers keeps kids away.
Look, 2 or 3 more up also.
Oh, I saw that. Nothing like those Alaskan mosquitoes biting your butt crack.
Hey, and they're not too bad. Even with the lake in the back behind here, but some of these places you get out, you better do you got to wait till it's time. You better do it, and you better do it quick, because some things, man, we don't have them for like 7 months. There's no bugs outside at all, obviously. But when they make hay, they got to make hay while the getting's good. So, boy, you better trip your britches down and do what you got to do, because they're. It's bad. Like, you literally will, like, talking like this. You'll breathe them in, because there's so many around that you'll just inevitably start breathing them in, because there's so many engulfing you that there's places where I've wanted a mosquito net thing, because it's just so bad that it's god awful, like a cloud. There'll be so many of them. Like, even you sit in your truck and you pull up, and they'll just all start diving your truck all around.
Now that's what is crazy to me, and that's what surprised me. I was watching your channel. You're talking about honeybees and how they won't survive the winter, and that really shocked me because all these other bugs can do it. You know,
Right.
I figured bees would have figured it out somehow.
Right. Yeah. They just they're not. Which I got to dig, and I didn't realize that honeybees weren't from North America. That they originated actually come over from England or wherever. That's where honeybees actually aren't even native to North America, at least what I read. But up here, though, yeah, they can't. They just never were a thing. Like we have other bees that aren't like a honey kind of a bee, though, and like carpenter bees, like similar to what we had down south. They're a little bit smaller. They're not quite as great big ones, but the same looking, but just a little smaller. But for whatever reason, I don't know why.
Yes, man.
I don't know why they can't. Like they just never did. But they're not. If they try to fly, a friend of mine has bees. Some of his just left his hive, and they're gonna die. There's no without human intervention, they cannot survive here. So, but it's not like we really need them because Alaska's been pollinating with all these other bugs that are natural here. So it's not like even with the people that have honeybees, it's not even a drop in the bucket to the amount of land that they can't cover. There's just so much land for the little amount of people, and then the little amount of people we have, and then the people that actually keep bees. They're not really. I mean, they're really not doing much of nothing to the actual ecosystem. Like even in my garden and all, I don't really see. I see probably 8 or 10 of the natural stuff to 1 of my honeybees, and they're right there. You just like there's so many more of the natural bugs that pollinate here than the honeybees do. So, but yeah, it's pretty wild, and it's just because our winters are so long. And you can insulate them and everything up, and they can, if you got to, it's a lot though. Humidity, if it gets too humid in their hive, they can all die from that. And there's so many things that can then trying to keep them alive for that period of long time. But the biggest thing is they just can't poop. They have to fly to go to the bathroom, and they will not do it in their hive because it's gross, and you get disease and stuff. So but here, because our winters are so long, as far as it's too cold for them to get out and fly, they'll literally have like dysentery, and they'll just gets really gross, and they all just die in their hive. And now, one, you lost your bees, but now that box is also ruined with all the frames. You have to toss all that because if you try to put bees back into that, they won't accept it. You can't wash it because bees are like super highly sensitive to anything inside. So if they get any kind of whiff of anything, like you try to wash it with, they take off. They won't accept it. So you're out the box, all the frames, the time you took to insulate it and all the money in that. And it's just so, maybe a couple years, I'd get a little bit more of a handle on just the process of doing it, and then I'll try to branch out into that. But it costs quite a bit of money just to keep them alive. And that's if you do, because you still don't have, there's no chance that, oh yeah, they're going to all survive, or they're going to survive. So it's a big gamble, and I'm not a gambling person. So I don't know. It's, once I really got, and then treating them for varroa mites and treating them for some other things, the price just gets going up, and it's like, man, you're possibly losing everything on top of all these treatments and stuff. So it's just like, right now, I don't know. But it's cool though. Honeybees are pretty cool. Here it makes it kind of worth it, the price for honey. This year was pretty bad too because we had so much rain they couldn't get out and do what they need to do, and so seems like what I've told from my bee supplier, that now the price is going to go up to around $25 for a pint and $50 for a quart because of just supply and demand, and last year was around 45 for a quart. And, like in Alabama, I've got friends that have been keeping bees for 20 plus years, and, they charge $16 a quart. Yeah. He about had a heart attack when I told him how much we get for a quart. Oh my God.
I hear it, Jessica.
But it's a lot of money though. Our buying bees is double almost, when you buy your hive, you get 4 pounds of bees in this little box, and it was almost another $100 more than what it is for them to get, and then, plus our short season and all that kind of stuff that we got to deal with. It just makes the price go up because of that. And then not being able to really overwinter them.
I see you do that. I seen you harvest the bee. Did you do a follow up on how much honey you got out of it?
Yeah, I thought maybe I didn't say it in there. Maybe I didn't. But the very end of that video, I thought I said maybe I didn't, but I thought I did. But yeah, we end up getting for both hives, I got around 4.5 gallons for both.
You may have.
But on a good year, with the rain permitting, we didn't get all this rain. Generally, we get the rains this time of year. We don't get them that, into July. July is still pretty dry. We get like 12 inches of rain a year. That's what our annual rainfall is. We're actually a temperate desert, technically or whatever. But we got so much rain, and it's not like down there rain. It's just like a mist, enough to make you aggravated and wet, and it's all day long. Like down there it was like 30 minutes is over with. You got 6 inches, and it's done though. And it's humid as all get out, and it's super humid and miserable. But here it's just all day like a hard drizzle, and enough to get you wet and aggravated. And the bees don't like it that much. They can kind of get around in it, but not so well. And but if we were getting good yields, we should get 5 gallons per hive. But so we got like around half of at least what I've been told, what we average, around 5 gallons a hive. So, but hey, I'm happy with it. It was cool. It's really cool.
Years, and I don't really know any. We
We
haven't done
haven't harvested
anything.
honey yet.
I lost
So
a
it's just
hive
been
last
chilling.
year. They either got mites or froze. But I have people came over to the house, and she made me this thick book, so they're gonna come over. I need to text her and see if they can come this week, and they're gonna try to help me harvest some honey. We'll see.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Get anything out of it?
that's cool. Yeah,
For sure,
that-
honey.
I know, but they have to have like 30 or 40 pounds to get through winter, so we can only take.
yeah. You have, and you can substitute. I mean, most people don't probably try not to. You give them, you want to give them their stuff because it's just healthier for them. But you can, substitute them with some sugars. That's what we have to do. We don't have a choice. Early season, because there's nothing. By the time you get your bees, there's like a month before there's any flowers when we wind up getting our bees. So we have to feed them a sugar water mix in a tank that goes in the bottom brood box. We got to pull. You take out like 2 frames and put this tank down in there that has like basically just sugar water and 1-to-1 ratio, and then that's what keeps them alive and going up until we start getting our first flowers. And then they could rock on. You pull that out, put the frames back.
Are you at work, Trey?
Yeah.
I could see like a PLC or something on that.
That's some of the screens we monitor.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yes.
I got let's see, tonight and 2 more. Got 3 more nights, counting tonight.
Yeah, it sticks out like a sore thumb to me because I'm a scale man, and sometimes my scales are on PLCs and stuff like that.
I got you.
Oh, Andrew's allergic to bees.
Yeah, I know, because I won beehives, and she says it's me or the bees. Take your pick now.
Oh,
Hear you.
how many acres do you have? You got 10? I mean, you could keep them.
Ours are in our front yard.
We
but
rarely
haven't
see them, and we're only 50 yards from the front door.
That offer still stands. She'll say, take your pick.
But there's probably a wild hive within 10 acres from you.
But what's funny is we've got these they look like almost like little yellow jackets. She says no, they're honeybees. I'm like, well, I don't think they're honeybees. I don't know what they are. They're flying all over here. Little tiny things.
It's probably the ground bees.
There's
They
some
could be.
Could be ground bees, yeah.
those ground wasps are about 10 times as dangerous as a honeybee.
She said,
Well, we have these big bees that fly, and they slam into the house, slam into the door, and they're like that's going through the air. I'm like, whoa.
those suckers. Those are those big old bumblebees or
Carpenter bees, probably.
Angie, peace out, bro. So, Josh, did you sell yours, or do you use that honey for the year, or?
No, I've just been giving it away. I don't
give it.
It's just kind of a fun thing.
$45 a gallon, and you're giving it away.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could, I guess, but I don't know. I got qualms with, I'd rather like, if anything, I'd like just trade. I cash makes people funny sometimes, especially nowadays, and people, it's kind of hard to let go of it when it's in your hand.
Yeah.
So like trading for something or something, I'd rather do that. The way everybody's kind of get something out of the deal, but I just didn't give it. I don't, I keep enough for what I know we'll probably eat, and then just give it to people that can't do it. Or that's not what we did in Alabama. I'd always, when I'd catch catfish and stuff on limb lines, we'd always have so much. I'd have so much on limb lines, I'd catch hundreds of pounds, and I'd sell some of it, but then I always have a portion of it I give to the elderly people that couldn't go out, or just people in church that just couldn't go out or whatever. And 'cause I enjoy doing that though. But yeah, anymore, I'd rather just trade. Like y'all had all that meat from cows. I'm like, shoot, man. I'd be like, hey, you want to trade? I'll trade you some of that for some honey or whatever. I don't care. I'd rather not even involve money.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't think you were on here, but my friend came over today and brought me like 14 pounds of butter and 4 boxes of pears, and I gave her some meat. So.
Oh man,
there you go.
Man, that's awesome.
14 pounds of butter. That's
Oh man, that's a gold mine. Yeah,
butter right there.
Butter is
I'm like, oh, I should have given her more. That was 4 pounds.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, shoot, yeah. That's what I do. Like a lot of people do salmon and stuff here. Trade salmon, trade. It's the same thing.
I'll give me some salmon.
Hey,
I'll give you all the meat in the freezer.
We'll go catch you some catfish and trade for some salmon.
Hey, I would. I was trying to figure out how to ship it down, but
it's a long
it's
way.
Good too. I mean, it's good. I don't know. Like I'm just, I don't know. Salmon is good, and right now the river and everything is nice, but like. I personally know many Alaskans up here, born and raised, that their kids were raised on it because that was just a cheap option. The way, like we would catch catfish or whatever, crappie and brim and bass. Yeah. And now them kids will not eat a salmon to save their life. And I'm like, down south, I have never heard anybody said, I'm tired of eating crappie or I'm tired of eating catfish. I have never heard that. I've never heard that, but I know way too many people up here that are lifelong, born and raised, that will not touch a salmon to save their life because they had to eat it as a kid growing up. Man, I eat
that's true.
I eat catfish every day. I don't care. Crappie, especially, flatheads and crappie. But the salmon is good, but like for me, like it's like once a week kind of thing because it's just I don't know. It has a lot of good for you in it, like all the stuff that salmon has going for it in it. Like maybe that's what it is because it's like you're like, whew, I'm good on salmon now. Like your body's like, I'm good. Don't need any more. And that might be why they were like, I don't want any more. But but it's still really good though. Don't get me wrong, it is really really good. But it's not like for me, just growing up down there, down south. I just. Man, give me a crappie or flathead catfish and, big old shell cracker, something like that. I would long term.
Flathead belly meat's hard to beat.
Oh man, yeah. Oh man, I tell you, halibut. People make a stink about halibut up here. I'm like, no, do y'all need to eat flathead catfish? Halibut is a joke. People, it's like,
Alaska and traded for some salmon because me and Rylan want salmon.
Hey, no, I
think I'm already banned from Canada just from my online run.
I had never eaten no salmon. I don't guess.
I probably got 70 pounds or something like that in the freezer. From when we went dip netting. I did a video on that, but and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, how you do it and all, but it ain't not like tossing a bobber by the bank. I tell you, it ain't that. This is tried literally not to die because if you fall in, you're 99. I mean, there's every so often some poor soul is able to get out of there. But that river, I said in that video, I was like, if Satan could have made a river,
that
would be 100%. I have never seen her, and the video kind of did it justice, but that river is insane. And I have never seen such a violent, deadly river in my life. Like the boils, the current is so fast, and there's peaks of like mountains under the bank, under the water you can't see, and that current slaps it, makes these massive boils, comes up and goes down. And I mean, it will take life jacket and all gone. Don't matter. Like literally, that's why we have to tie off to the rocks and have a life jacket on.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah, it is. I'm literally, people die in that river every single year. Somebody dies every year. It's unfortunate too, but I mean it's just because that river's insane. I mean, it makes you stinking earn them dang old things. I tell you, it ain't like hanging a limb line with a live brim on it. I didn't have to worry about dying and doing that. But but salmon, even here, it's like one fillet, $25. I'm like, you're out of your mind, dude. But so it's worth it. But I don't take my kids down there. I put it that way. Definitely. No, that river is no joke.
So there's been days on the Arkansas River that I've been there with my dad whenever I was a kid, and my dad. Looking back now, I just thought, I'm like, I knew the river was dangerous, but I didn't. My dad would always be harping on me. You better have your life jacket on. You better stay back. And all this. But looking back on those days at the river, I would never take my kids there when the river's up and running like that. And then even when the river is at normal flow, our kids are wearing a life jacket around like there's a place called West Walking Dam, and they got generator turbines on it, and it sends out turbulent water like that. And kids will, it's not bad enough to where I think if they had their life jacket on, they would just maybe get caught in an eddy and not be able to get out. But if they didn't have a life jacket on, they'd be dead.
Right. Angie said, "Sounds like a spot for people you dislike."
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
That Chris Knight song, "Down by the River."
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you don't need barbed wire or fencing and center blocks. You don't need none of that. You just
instead of the train station, take them to the river.
Look down there. Just a little nudge and
they're gone.
She's some bees. She might take you on a trip to Alaska.
It's no, it's
Thank you guys for coming in.
Good evening. See you later. Good night.
Y'all gonna do any fishing coming up, Dakota?
Well, we got Little League football, but we'll probably sneak a trip in there. I need to get the boat out and go set a trot line and live baits, because flathead, I can catch blue cat anytime I want to go, but flathead is what I would really like to catch before the water gets cold. Because in Oklahoma, the water gets cold enough, you're not going to catch them during the winter unless you're snagging or something.
Oh, okay.
They get lethargic when the water temperature gets low enough, and they just won't bite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they passed.
114.
That's the good life up there now.
Yeah. Play.
There you go, John.
They were playing a second ago.
Tony, where are you originally from?
What's that?
Where are you originally from?
New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. So you had an accent. My uncle, you kind of sound like my uncle, but he's from Oregon.
Oh, yeah. New Hampshire originally.
Yeah.
No.
Back when I visited my mom, her accent was down there last week, and I was like, "Wow, Mom, you still got it after 80 years." Woo!
That's funny. I don't know if I ever met anyone from New Hampshire.
No.
I know I haven't.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
So what do you do for a living, Troy? Trey.
I work at a gas and oil facility. I'm an operator.
I thought you was an alligator catcher for a minute.
I know alligator catcher. We have alligators here, but the alligators is bad down south. We're in northeast Louisiana.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you what part of Louisiana you was from.
Yeah,
okay.
we're northeast. We're close to Monroe.
Monroe, okay. Yeah, probably you got them, but they ain't as thick.
Oh yeah. We've got them.
We got gators in Oklahoma too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I would have never bet on that.
Yeah, down in southeast Oklahoma, we got gators.
Oh snap! Daggone, I would have never. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. In Oklahoma, it just totally depends on where you're at. I mean, you've got every type of terrain you could think of in Oklahoma. You got sand dunes.
That's because
we're
central.
You got the Great Plains. You've got red shell plateaus. You got pine woods. You got our mountains aren't big, but you got mountains. You got granite mountains. You got piney mountains.
Amy, do you want on here? Sasquatch, that's right. Sasquatch has actually been to our place.
We've got enough gators that probably the last 7 or 8 years they've started having a gator hunt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a draw. It's it's a draw for it. Only X amount of people can get it.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's how it was in Alabama. It was. Yeah, I'm on the very bottom of Alabama, where we were from, the very south end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a draw thing, and that's like it is. That's the only thing I've ever heard a draw hunt. Everything else is, we didn't even have we don't have tags in Alabama. Still don't have tags. It's an honest policy for everything. Which I mean, hey, but here it's tag. It's tag city. Boy, I'm talking about everything's got a tag. Golly,
we do here, and they're just now this year fixing to do the first ever bear hunt. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a draw hunt, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. They finally got enough of them
out here. Yeah, they're more of a dang nuisance than anything.
Oklahoma, they don't have draw hunt on black bear, but they have a quota. So once so many bears are shot, then they just close the season.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's like caribou hunting we never had anything like that I'm used to in Alabama, and then coming here, that's how caribou is the quota. But in it. And I mean, but that's like your only, you get we got bears you can hunt, but caribou is kind of like your best bet, but that can close in 3 days. For 365, caribou is over in 3 days, or it could be over in a week, or it could be over in 3 months. But it depends on how many they have for the quota. But the last 3 years has been dismal, and it's generally over in 5 days. And then the only other caribou hunt you can do where I'm at, which is in the central part of Alaska, I still got to drive 7 hours north to get to where you could possibly kill some, but it is a expensive ride in gas and everything else in time to go do that, and it just ain't worth it for me. I mean, it's so many regulations. Like, oh my gosh.
So where do you rank caribou as far as the different venison, like with whitetail and moose?
Yeah, moose is like mirror image, same kind of whitetail, just more of it, no different really to me. Caribou's its own thing though. They eat this like weird lichen stuff. It's this weird looking grass. I don't even know what it is, like a fungus grass looking stuff. And but it's got its own. Some people say it smells like dirty socks when you cook it. I don't get that, but some people do. And then some people say that I think it's amazing and it's super tender. But I don't know. It definitely has its own flavor, though. It's maybe gamey, but it's not strong gamey to me. Like, I've had some stuff that was showing enough gamey, but like, it's not bad to me. It's really good to me, but the texture's more tender than whitetail, I think. And it's total different flavor. I mean, to me, I like it because it's something total different. That moose is a deer, though. I mean, it's no different. Careful.
Let's go. Come on.
No, careful.
Amy, Jamie.
I can't see the chat, by the way, so I don't know if anybody's saying anything.
Yeah, let me.
I think I'm mosquitoes, man. But
Jennifer,
yeah, I'm practicing for my lives. I haven't even been reading the chats. I've been just like,
that sucker's been sitting on a corn cob for 10 years, man. That sucker, go. He can get nowhere quick. Man, yeah, we can kill in our unit. They go by units here. We don't have counties either. It's like Louisiana's got boroughs. We have they got parishes. We got boroughs, and our borough is split into different units. In our unit, we can shoot, like if I got 2 black bears in the yard, I can shoot them any time of the year, no matter what. I mean, as long as they just don't have a cub, right? But if it's any single bear, it doesn't matter. You can shoot it. And then if I go about an hour outside of our unit, I can kill 3 more in the same year. So you can kill really 5 bears in the interior. You can kill all year round. You can kill 5, but they're not like I mean, they're everywhere, but you don't ever see them stinking things. I mean, they're pretty slick.
Yeah.
But we're allowed to bear bait, with barrels and stuff. You may see that on TV and stuff. I just never really get to do it because it interferes with my gardening. And when I got to get seed in the ground, because we got such a little time to make hay, and I just can't do one and it's one or the other. And I'd rather have my garden. My garden's much more guaranteed than bear meat. So I just end up doing that. And if I see one, I'll shoot it. But if not, it's just like whatever. But yeah. So and then we can shoot a grizzly. Also, that's one that you don't even, as a resident, you ain't got to have a tag. I can shoot one in my yard any time of the year, which is cool. I mean, that's a cool option to have. But Leonard Mountain Homestead. I am from South Alabama, born and raised, 27 years, and then we moved up here 6 years last month. We've been here in North Pole, Alaska.
Man, I love
What
it.
made you want to move to Alaska?
Just felt like that's what I needed to do. I felt like I needed a total scenery change. I was struggling really bad with depression, anxiety, and on and off, wanting to off myself. And I felt like that's what on my heart at the time. I didn't realize it was the Lord telling me. But if I wanted to get better, I needed a total scenery change. And total different. I want nothing remotely the same. And we end up put a guy in my my life from Alaska, which is rare as I'll get out to meet anybody, let alone that visited Alaska. But meeting somebody from there of 60 years is like almost unheard of down south, at least where I'm from. And anyway, he's what really inspired me to want to do it. If now I have this guy that knows what to. I wasn't gonna do it. I had 3 kids at the time, little bitty at that time, and I wasn't gonna move nowhere remotely because it's like I tell everybody, it literally might as well be Mars. Like it's so unknown down there. I remember all that. I'm like, this is literally Mars to South Alabama anyway. Like they're so unknown. And but meeting him and everything, I was like, what, if we can do it, let's just go all the way. We're gonna move and let's just go all the way. And then Lord made it happen to where we were able to. But anyway, that's really why. It was just for my own mental health, honestly. Just for something different. Like I couldn't focus on my depression and stuff, or maybe my mind wouldn't mess with me because I'm dropped in a total different scenery and everything. So,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's interesting about Alaska to me is nothing. I've never experienced something quite like literally being alone, like knowing that nobody is around you, like knowing that you're the only person in relative distance to you. Like being that isolated is a totally different feeling. I've only found that a few times in my life, and that's something different. And that would probably be if I was ever to move to Alaska, that would be why, because you could get alone.
I gotta grab my other charger. My phone is finna croak. And yeah, I mean, most people are, it's funny. There is some YouTube. I'll say, as far as YouTubers, a few YouTubers that are actually remote now. You're speaking of, but for the most part, 90% of them can't because you got to work.
Right.
I'm trying to look you up now. 'Cause I know where I'm not subscribed to you. I'm trying to find you.
Who are you looking for?
For Josh there, like the oranges. I know I'm not subscribed to him.
I haven't pulled up a second.
He just changed his channel.
But
It may be slow picking up, but it's there.
I had to try and run into the truck to get the charger of my phone. For whatever reason, I had it on
There you go.
Kind of.
Okay.
Josh, I so bad would love to move to either to Idaho or Alaska.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Man, I would love it.
I'm with Jennifer. Alaska's too cold.
Say it's got I'm buffering on my end. I don't know.
Hey, Johnny.
Howdy, howdy.
I don't know if I'm buffering on y'all's end or not. Showing
No,
up.
you just
Hey, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Johnny.
You want to go back there?
Island on a
Go back there.
$50,000
You want to go back there?
Nobody parked the tire. Back to bird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still buffering on my end, y'all. So I don't know if I can't see anybody.
You're okay here.
I don't know why.
I watched your videos when you were out doing your burbot
There we go.
fishing and whatnot.
Maybe it'll
and
work.
the fact that you have to have those mittens on, or you literally start to freeze without mittens and parkas and stuff.
I don't know if
on.
y'all can hear me or not, but I cannot hear or see nobody, so I'm just gonna hang out.
No.
Hi, Josh. I just got here.
Hi, Josh.
You run him off, Johnny.
Josh, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow and the next day.
Chris.
You what?
Us talking to Josh.
Oh, okay.
How you feeling, Johnny?
Oh man, I go back and forth on how I feel. Today, not terribly bad. I had a lot of fence I had to fix.
Huh?
Hey, Josh, you're back.
Hey, internet issues on my end.
You're still doing a race this weekend, right?
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yep. I went, we actually tested the car Saturday night. And so, yeah, we're good to go for this weekend.
All right.
I just set up a little something a while ago. So,
Yes.
we're going to be doing a little something to the car Thursday night, I guess. And we'll see. I got about 3 grudge races I've got when we get up there. And we're gonna prevail.
Judgment Day is coming.
Yeah, it's true.
That's right.
Yeah, we were running the equivalent of high 8s in the quarter is what the car was running the other night.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
On motor, no power adders.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
And yeah, Jennifer, yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to.
Found you.
Getting ready to stick to it, and we'll, that'll pick it up a lot more. So, anyway, Christine is farting in the tank. Look out, Angie.
Well, we'll be there on Saturday morning. I don't know. I mean, hopefully be kind of early. So
Angie.
Okay.
we'll be there all day Saturday. We'll spend the night Saturday night and leave Sunday, whatever we're going to do.
Yeah, we're leaving 9 o'clock Friday morning. We're heading out from here, and we'll be there all day Friday, and then we're going to test. I'm going to try to get 2 hits in on Friday, and then Saturday is the actual racing. So we'll be there all day, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stay at the hotel and leave out from the hotel.
Right.
So, but anyway, thank you guys. I see you celebrating farm life, saying good luck and everything, and good to see you. Our Louisiana life up there,
You too, Mr. Johnny.
and Fast and Furious Oklahoma.
Got that right.
Wouldn't mind going and watch that.
Angie and I were actually kind of watching some of your shorts with the running a couple nights ago. There you go.
Oh yeah, from last year at that deal.
Yeah, just different ones. The old ones. You didn't see the one that you ran. I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 years ago against that pickup on the road.
Oh yeah, on the street over here. Yeah.
I think you had the supercharged one.
Do what?
Did you have the supercharged one?
Yeah, that was it. Had the 871 on it.
Right. Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Sure.
He's got a ton of videos.
Oh.
Are you dragging for money in those races?
Do we drag for money?
Just for fun?
No, it's for money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too expensive to do that for fun. So we're trying to get some money out of this deal.
I figure if you're doing it, it's going to be expensive either way.
Yeah, oh, it's expensive either way, but we won money in Kansas last year, so we're going to try to win money again this year.
Fuel's too expensive to do it just for fun.
What date did you say that was?
Huh?
What date did you say that was?
It's the 14th, isn't it? Saturday,
Yeah.
14th.
This
Saturday,
week,
14th. You guys said you were doing ball games or something like that.
Little league football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
could
good.
just-
I mean, you got them boys, and they're in it, and all that stuff, and I'm sure they really enjoy it, and you guys probably really enjoy it too.
Oh, that's homecoming. That would be.
There's probably going to be what the coaches get upset, but come deer season like this November 2nd game. Oh, it's the second round of playoffs too.
We're gonna be gone.
We might be missing that one because we got drawn on Okmulgee National Wildlife Refuge for special family hunt.
hunt they're doing now.
Oh, really?
So,
Congratulations on that.
That's awesome.
It'll be interesting. I don't even know the details on it. Every time I try to
Jennifer,
Yo.
Jennifer, she said if you tried to race the car with Canadian gas. Jennifer, I'm going to tell you something right now. The gas I run in that car blows way off $8 a gallon. I mean, I wish my gas was $8 a gallon.
Hey, Lori.
It's $917 for 54 gallons of it. So,
That's what when we was running methanol. But
methanol's cheap.
You burn twice as much of it. It's
Yeah,
cheap.
you use twice as
But you
much.
burn
It's
twice
cheap
as
by the
much.
drum.
Yep.
It's like $3 a gallon.
Yep.
And you run twice as much.
Yep.
But so, even if you run twice as much, you're still, it's nothing like,
Yeah.
20, I can't remember how much it is a gallon for mine. It's up there. No, it's not rocket fuel, Angie. I can get rocket fuel cheap. Rocket fuel is basically just what?
Refined oil.
Well, it's that what do they call that stuff? You use kerosene.
Y'all run the
Kerosene.
112 or the 116? What are you running?
I run Q16, which is an oxygenated 116 octane
116.
fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny, you're basically about $17 a gallon.
17.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. Well, it's actually come down. It's hard to believe that something that has to do with racing came down, but because I gave 1,000 something for it back about, when everybody was in you can't get anything because of COVID.
Right.
We gave over $1,000 for a drum of it then. So.
No, yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Before Christine found out how much the fuel cost.
Do what?
That's before Christine found how much the fuel cost.
Oh.
Last year you're joking around and saying Christine didn't know how much the fuel cost this year.
Yeah. Well, last year I bought a little 5-gallon pail of it for $125.
Oh,
Yeah, 5 gallons. Just a little pail.
Woo! Gotta pay to play, as they say. That's like hunting here. You gotta pay to play, man.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. But deer season is coming up pretty soon. We got October 1st. I think Ginger said that Georgia's deer season opens this weekend.
Oh wow.
And
man, yeah, dang.
Well, I think they said, my son's girlfriend, they had a velvet hunt for deer this past weekend in Arkansas. They in a club in Arkansas.
Yeah, my cousin shot one with her bow.
They're talking about that in Oklahoma.
Yeah, hers is in velvet. I forgot to show you that.
They're,
Yeah,
they're
velvet.
doing a special hunt in Oklahoma, I think.
Velvet's cool, yeah. Like when we go caribou hunting, the time we go in for caribou is like mid-August, and they're all in velvet. When you hunt them, they're every one of them is in velvet. And the one I got on my wall, the Lord blessed me with, that is a pretty good one for, a poor man hunt anyway. And but it's all velvet. It's trippy. I've never ever put hands on a velvet buck like down south ever, and it's just cool to see anything in velvet. It's just cool. And they can preserve it and everything, so he's preserved. I just got his horns. It's too much money to shoulder mount that sucker, and I ain't got a big enough wall anyway. You got to have 10-foot ceilings for even a caribou, let alone a moose.
Yeah.
You need 12-foot wall. You need a 12-foot wall for a bull shoulder mount of a bull moose. Good grief.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the velvet's cool, and how they preserve it and everything, it's real cool.
How did they preserve it, Josh?
It's something special. I don't even know the technical stuff, but they have to dip it. It has to soak in some kind of treatment for 2 weeks. Cannot come out of it for 2 weeks, and then whatever that does cures it.
Pickle it or something.
I reckon it's something like that, because it's got blood vessel. It's growing the horns.
Full of blood.
Antlers. If anybody wants to get technical, I understand they're antlers, but in Alabama they're horns. I don't know about I don't care. It's horns. They all got horns. But because I know there's some people that want to ride and die on that hill about antlers and horns, which is fine. Bless your heart. If you want to ride on that hill, we can ride.
I got some folk in Montana, and if it's an 8 point, they'll say 4 point. They just count one side.
That's
4
what they
point.
do.
I'm like 4 point. What are you talking
What
about?
how do y'all say it? How did y'all say it in New Hampshire?
I don't remember because I was like 15 when I left, and I don't remember none of that stuff.
I know my uncle, when he grew up in Oregon, he always said it's a 5 point buck. I'm like, what do you do when they have 4 on that side and 4 on that side?
I can't. For some reason, they won't let me join. I can't type, but yes, we are. The eye right now, the path of the eye of the hurricane shows to come just right to the east of us.
Oh, really?
But it shows to be a tropical storm, I think, when it gets to us.
Right, I seen that, man.
You guys are gonna get some rain.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're not getting anything right now, but I mean, it's still in the Gulf right now. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you guys could just kind of go outside and deflect that stuff right over there toward Oklahoma, that would be really, really nice.
Look, we need
rain in Oklahoma about right now.
Yeah, we need some rain, and it rained. Some people around us got like 2 inches, and we got like, I think 8 tenths. I went and checked the gauge yesterday, and we got 8 tenths, which I'm not complaining. I mean, I just put out fertilizer and stuff, but we need some rain. It's dry here too.
Yeah, it's getting real dry. I was hoping, September is typically our driest month here in Oklahoma. It's April and September for whatever reason. I've been watching it for years, and it seems to be April and September.
Yeah.
And then, but anyway, so I'm looking here. Angie said you're going to have to go get a moose. That's what she said, Tony. Tony, you're going to have to go get a moose.
Well, we've got 2 elk that's sitting there that they both got 17-foot ceilings, and about 7 foot they hit their bottom hits my head, so the rest is all what they look like. There's 2 of them in there, one on the fireplace and one on the other side. And actually, I didn't go hunt them. My father-in-law did. He went to British Columbia, and he told me one time here about a year ago, "Hey, you ready for a moose?" And I said, "Yeah, I can put on that wall over there." And Angie said, "No more. We're done. You're walking a wildlife preserve walking in our house."
I couldn't even imagine if we could live in somewhere.
I'm still waiting to shoot one of them suckers. So
there's 2 big ones in our house. Plus, we've got a whitetail, I think a 10-point deer from Minnesota. We've got Angie's grandfather caught I think it's a muskie. It's a big muskie that's probably I'm going to say it's 4 foot long, and it's mounted by backsliding glass door. Oh, it is all kind of duck and everything out here. The grandkids come walking in, they're like looking. Now they're used to it. They'll start pointing and start calling out the names.
Elk one. I want to go shoot me an elk on my bow. I've never been elk hunting. That's one I want to go do.
Do you ever, Trey? Do you ever put in for the Oklahoma elk hunt at the Wichita Wildlife Refuge?
No, we talked about coming and hunting in Oklahoma for whitetail. Never elk. But
So
I think this
in
year we're
Oklahoma-
gonna go to Missouri.
In Oklahoma, we have a elk hunt that the odds of getting drawn are pretty difficult. But if you do get drawn, the odds of shooting a bull elk are pretty high at the Wichita Wildlife Refuge.
I wouldn't even know where to start hunting the elk.
They draw.
I got drawn. I got drawn for that hunt, Dakota, and killed an elk in it on it.
Oh wow, man, that's cool. That'd be cool.
That's what I wanted to. I don't hardly ever gun hunt. And pretty much all I do is bow hunt. I hardly ever gun hunt anything.
I hunt it with whatever I got.
I'm not a,
We
I'm not
have
against shooting with a gun.
See,
we
I
have a
used to.
refuge up here that's there's only 7 days total of gun season on it, and everything else is bow, and that's where I hunt mainly. Is
Oh,
on
wow.
that refuge.
Can y'all use crossbows there? Do they consider them a bow?
They do. They allow crossbows. That just started like 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
See,
They won't do that here. They don't consider them a bow. I reckon that you have to use them during rifle season.
I
It's
wish
like, why am I going to use a crossbow when I can use a rifle?
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't allow them here because it wipes some deer down in some of these places because it's just drove so many more people to it. Shooting it with a bow is hard. I mean, that's not simple.
I'll tell you what happens a lot is there's a lot of deer get wounded with crossbows and never found.
Well, especially these big bows, people think they can shoot 100 yards with now. I mean, regardless how fast it is, by the time that arrow gets there, that deer's done hurt it and that deer's moving.
And here's what people don't understand about crossbows. You got on a compound bow, you're shooting a 400 plus grain arrow. You're shooting much less on a crossbow because your bolt's only 10 inches long. So, yeah, you might be able to hit a target at 75 yards with it, but you're not you're more effective with a bow at 75 yards than you are with a crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's we just
like
pick our new bows up.
As a preference, I like them because I can hand them to my youngins, and every single youngin I have can shoot my crossbow.
Oh yeah.
I can't shoot my compound. I can have one crossbow, and my 2-year-old could pull the trigger on it. If I wanted him to.
I'm all for kids and handicap. Down here used to be just handicap was able to use the crossbows, and 5-6 years ago they made it to where anybody could.
Right. In Alabama, long time they've had them where you could own them with them for a long time down there.
Yeah. This year, I want to make it a point to. Last year, Levi shot his first 2 deer. I was really proud of him on his first one because he shot him with a muzzleloader, his first deer, and then he ended up shooting a real nice buck, and we couldn't find it with his muzzleloader. And then he ended up shooting a buck during rifle season with just a AR, just a 5.56 AR. And this year, I'm going to get a 350 Legend up and go for it. But he made a good shot with.
He dropped his doe. Shot her straight in the heart.
But I'll tell you what, shooting your first deer with a muzzleloader at 10 years old is pretty impressive. I mean,
very impressive. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Muzzleloader are awesome.
My son wanted to bow hunt, and he didn't want us. He had to do it because all I've pretty much ever done. He killed his first deer with a bow at 8 years old.
Man. Oh,
wow. He made a horrible shot, but it was about the best horrible shot you could make. As they call it, that Texas heart shot. Get
him every time.
That main artery. Hey, he got it. That was a good one. So.
Yeah. Hey, Shayla, let Shayla tell you the story of her first buck. Now, keep in mind, I measured it out after the fact, I told her to shoot because I thought the deer was going to come out in a totally different place.
Shot.
I had seen the deer on the other side of the property. The deer seen me and was going back towards her. So I said, "You need to shoot this deer. It's getting dark. He's coming at you." I didn't know she got out of her deer stand. She wasn't in her deer stand anymore.
That's because I thought it was 20 minutes after sunset we had out, but I still had 10 minutes left. But I had gotten out about 10 minutes before that because I wanted to make sure that I walked back. I was walking back out that if I seen a deer, I could shoot it. So I had 20 minutes.
But needless to say, it was 330 yards.
Woo! That's a poke there.
That's pretty good shot.
That's a poke there.
No, your buck was 330. Your doe was 400. Well, 243. But I didn't know it was at 330 yards, or I wouldn't have told her to shoot at it. It's really dark. I thought it was stand in 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So this deer is the first time she spots it, it's going north, right? Yeah. Vice versa. It was either going north or south.
It was going south.
So she gets it in the scope and it turns and it's facing north now. So what she thinks is the front shoulder is the butt.
Because it was windy out, getting shoots down so I could get my rifle on there because it was so stinking windy. I couldn't stand there and hold it. I was moving around. And then he's just yelling at me on speaker. I got the phone in the grass and I'm trying to find it. I'm like, yeah, I got it, but it's so I thought I was hitting the front shoulder.
It was its back leg.
I shot at it and I seen it hump up and I seen it run, a couple yards, and then it just stopped. And the lighting, I couldn't tell if it was laying there or if it was standing there. He's like, "Did you shoot it? Shoot again." I'm like, "I'm not going to shoot it again. I think it's just laying there." And I watched it for, 3 or 4 minutes. And finally, I see it just slowly walk off into the woods. I was like, I shot it, but it's still alive. And so he comes down there.
We gave it about an hour because I had no clue where she hit it if it walked off.
Then we went and found the blood trail. And the pile of blood was like this big, and the trail was about this wide, and it was thick. And he's over there picking up the blood, and he's like, "Doesn't smell."
I said, "It looks like liver blood, but it don't smell like liver. I can't figure this one out."
And then we walk into the woods, we hear crashing, and we let it go longer.
No, he was well dead by the time we came.
Well, at some point we heard crashing, and then we waited. And then anyway, we went on down the steep bank. We go down there and found it.
We didn't have no crashing from that deer. That deer expired quick. What she did was she shot just in front of the back leg, and it clipped the femoral artery and blew its testicles off. That's about as bad a shot as you could make.
I've done that with a muzzleloader one time.
Too. I mean, if that happened, I'll be done. I'm done.
That's what I said.
No, but it really did bleed out quick. I don't think it had much time. It made it about 50 yards off in a ravine. It went right to the ravine.
Yeah, his run about 150 yards, about as far as it made. But I mean, he hit it right dead square in that artery, right in the ham. Air didn't go 4 inches deep, probably.
Yeah.
No, but it was just right.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome though. Hey, 8 years old. That's very impressive.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. That was about the 4th try. Yeah.
I got a bow hunt here. I'm just waiting on one to come in the yard I drew a cow moose bow tag, which is pretty coveted for the local folks around here for just meat. And so that was a blessing. So I'm hoping here, and I got about a 3-month window to get one. So, which is good because most moose is generally within an hour drive. Moose season's over in 15 days. That's it. With a gun. I mean, there's no bow season for it. If you want a bow hunt, you can, but it's gun and bow. There's no difference. but within an hour drive, it's about, or even almost out to 2 hour drive away from where we live. You got 15 days to make something happen. That's it. And then for, a guy that's working not, a 7 to 5 days a week, really it's 2 weekends. 365 days, you got 2 weekends.
Yeah, 2
You
weeks.
ain't got any time off to make something happen. Otherwise, you're having to go way on out yonder to try out. Then you can get another 2 weeks. But, the whole out there, it's to the 25th of September. But even then, I mean, that's it. And your average Joe guy that's just got a wheeler and a meat wagon and stuff. That's why I try to be honest with people. I mean, your average guy, he's getting a bull moose between one moose, if you're fortunate, between 3 to 5 years, you'll get one.
Yeah.
That seems about the average is you'll get one bull moose in 3 to 5 years. If you really want to get in debt or you got a whole lot of money, you can kind of get out there about one bull every 1 to 2 years. But generally, them guys are running $100,000 boats and can take off the entire month, and they're going out. I'm talking 100 to 200 miles on the river one way, and to get out because there's everybody in the. We ain't got 750,000 people in the whole state, and the state's 2.5 times bigger than Texas. You would think there'd be a lot of land to go, but everybody here is a hunter. I mean, just about, it seems like. So, man, when moose season and you got to make hay and get while the getting's good, you ain't got that little window to make something happen. Everybody's on a four-wheeler, a boat, or something. And, I mean, it actually seems like there's a lot more people when moose season's going on in Caribou. And it just makes it rough for, your average guy. As I try to tell, TV makes it out like they're everywhere. They're everywhere if you're willing to spend, $5-10 grand. Yes. But I can't justify. I go buy a cow, and that's guaranteed. A cow from the butcher shop is guaranteed. I'll poke around here for a couple days, and but I'll go buy a cow if I'm gonna do that. That's guaranteed. That's money in the bank, man.
I'll guarantee you this about a cow versus venison, though. A cow is far more versatile. When you go to cook, it's far more versatile. You can cook way more than a cow.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%, definitely.
And like with my deer, so with my deer meat, I always grind beef in with it. Not beef fat, but I add beef to it because we eat more ground meat than anything. So you add say you've got 60 pounds of deer meat to grind. If you'll put 15 pounds of brisket in there or so, it will make it taste like more like I would say it makes it taste something along the lines of like a grass finished beef.
Yeah.
We get beef fat added higher.
It's deer meat.
Yeah, we always would add beef fat to our deer down there, and people do it here too, to caribou and moose and everything.
Well, I mean, like add some meat too, like a whole 17 pound packer brisket to like 60 pounds of deer. And when you go to cook that burger, it cooks just like beef. You can't even tell you're not cooking.
Right. That's a good idea. Yeah.
On like a doe, like if I had 60 pounds of doe meat and I did that with a brisket, I could cook people hamburgers and they wouldn't be able to tell me that it wasn't beef.
How big is y'all's does? I'm curious because I know what they were in Alabama, but what would be an adult doe average weight, like on the hoof?
It would take a couple of does, 2 or 3 does, to make 50, 60 pounds of grind usually.
Okay. So they're about the same down there. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, a big old nanny doe, you might get one around 115 pounds, one that's been around a long time.
Right.
But your average doe is probably about 70 to 80 pounds dressed.
Okay.
What about y'all's bucks up there? What kind of weight y'all get on them?
Northwest Oklahoma, you might see one 200 pounds, but typically 140 dressed to 180.
I killed a buck here on our place where we live here in 2019 that went 187 dressed, and the year before I killed one that dressed 172.
Those are big eastern Oklahoma deer.
They are horses. I mean, I've got pictures of them on the scales and everything else. I mean, they were monsters. The big horns. You could tell that they'd been around for a long time. They scored both those bucks I put in the Cy Curtis book, the Oklahoma book.
Man.
But
my son killed one on public land last year that field dressed 242 on public land.
Nice.
I killed one in northwest Missouri in Atchison County. We went up there about 5 or 6 years ago, and we weighed him on the hoof. He was 317.
He
was huge.
That's a bull caribou, just about, man.
Yeah, he was huge. My buddy killed one. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Oh, so my buddy killed one the same time. It weighed 255, and it is amazing the difference,
man,
between that 255-pound deer to that one that I killed. It was huge.
If you put up a private chat, we'll be able to see it. Like the panel will be able to see it, but nobody out in the chat will be able to see it. But other than like if you got somebody that's wanting to that you're specifically wanting to chat with out there.
Your mama.
So you got one that says chat with everyone in the studio, or
oh man, big old deer.
That's a big old deer.
Good, big old deer.
Man, he started something now, so here we go.
You know?
Here in a long time last year, I shot a nice one. I shot a nice one out in western Oklahoma, out near Cheyenne, Oklahoma, on Black Kettle public hunting. But I can't remember exactly what it weighed. I want to say it was 170 something. But that's pretty big for
yeah. Well, we was at that one. He scored a 171. They scored him as a 10-point, but he really wasn't nothing but an 8-point.
Man.
Yep. No.
Yeah, the cow caribou here. When I field dress them outside, out there, you're having to pack them out, on your back generally, or if you got a wheeler or something like that. Where I go, because I don't have a wheeler, or I got one. I don't trust her right out there on that tundra and stuff. It's an old Suzuki. I don't trust it, but I just pack them out on my back. But by the time you cut them all up, everything out there, put them on your back, and then get home and we process them and everything. Most of the cows run anywhere from 75 to 85 pounds of meat for one.
That guy dressed at 170 something. I can't remember exactly.
Nice.
That's nice
deer.
Yeah, we get 75 to 85 pounds of meat. That's just the straight, end of the day processed. But the bull I shot, he was a double shovel, which is something special apparently. Now I know they're like 1 in 1,000 or something like that have double shovels. He's basically like an eye guard on the deer. They're the ones that's up in their face, and I'm like, I don't know how they see anything, man. Things are all like, when I shot him, he's like looking up, like, what is that? I don't know how he got two of them. They're like this. He's like, I can't how he sees anything. But I didn't weigh that one by the time we field dressed or, dressed it and processed it. And I weighed all my ground and I weighed all my roast and everything. But he was way bigger than the cows. That was significant difference. I could only carry 3/4 of him. And I was I could felt my knees starting to like cave, like they were bone to bone, whatever that jelly stuff you got, it wasn't working, man. That was a lot of weight I had to do. I had to do 2 trips on that one because that one was too big. But then like a moose, man, you talking about a bull, like a 50-inch bull, 1/4, like a hind quarter, you're running anywhere from 100 to 150 pounds on 1/4. It's on a bull. And
talk about work.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I ain't never done it. I mean, I said it's like They're hard to come by. Yeah. At least
Hey,
they seem,
I got this steer around the house that
Oh man,
Oh, Nick,
Nice.
187.
that's
187.
he called.
Yeah.
He got a biscuit in it.
Levi's been trying to train this steer that we got around here to ride, but he's been putting on a lead and walking it around. I said, hey, if you're going to train him, I'm going to use him to pack my deer out this year. We have trouble planning it. Some of our walk-ins will be a couple miles.
Yeah, careful.
That's what we do too. That's what we saddle hunt now. We use saddles and we one stick and all that just so we can get in lighter quicker.
We need to get into saddle hunting. We've been talking about it.
So
We like it. Yeah, that's why we killed them too. I just showed y'all just there a while ago. We killed them a day apart last year. So, on saddle hunting, public land.
Yeah. Do you travel a lot hunting?
Well, not a lot. Well, I hadn't been the last few years. My son, since he's been in high school football, I haven't went anywhere. And 'cause I like him to go with me, but this year I think we're gonna go over close to Pike County, Missouri. I may take a trip and go over there, me and a buddy. So leave after one of his football games and strike out, go spend about a week.
Yeah.
I get that privilege with the job I got. I work 7 and 7.
Oh
So,
yeah.
it makes it nice. So
Yeah. I used to work a 14-14 for years, which with little kids, it got to where it ain't worth it. But
yeah,
for me, but it is nice though.
Oh yeah.
That one dressed 172 and he came off this place right here.
Man.
way that there's not very big, but
No, I shot.
his body was huge.
I miss Oklahoma. You used to have to take your deer to a weigh station and check them in, and you'd weigh your deer. I absolutely miss that.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't weighed so many deer, and I miss seeing all the deer people would drag in at the end of the day or in the mornings.
See, whenever I was a kid, that's what Dad did. He would take us down to the check station on Saturday morning on the first day of rifle season, and we would just sit there and watch the trucks come in. And even, we weren't hunting ourselves because, I was little, and Dad, he was just, he wasn't. My dad, he liked to hunt like in the evenings. He didn't like to hunt in the morning. So we would go over to the check station around 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning and sit there, and they'd drink coffee and just watch all the deer come in. And then that evening, they'd get him all fired up. And that evening, he'd go out and go out in the woods and sit down next to a tree and promptly fall asleep. So, but it was, I tell you what, it was, as a kid, it really imprinted on my mind big time.
We don't weigh all ours, but it's just like when we killed, something like my son killed last year. I mean, it was just so big. Like it took 3 of us getting him out. And I'll show y'all if you can see the difference here. This is my deer, which we didn't even weigh him, but my horns was bigger than my son's. And this is him on the 4-wheeler. So you can see it.
Yeah.
You see where he's at? Okay, that's mine. Now this is the difference. This is his on the same 4-wheeler. If it just lets you know the difference in the
Oh yeah.
horn off both sides.
Big old.
He was huge.
This is when we first moved. When we first bought this place and moved here, this is the first deer Christine got.
No more
right here on a. And she got that one, and the very next day from the same deer stand, because I knew it was a good spot. I go, well, I'm gonna go sit in that same tree. The very next morning, I shot this one right here from the same tree stand. This one was 23 inches wide inside.
Wow. Yeah. Good night.
Wide deer.
And my two biggest deer have come off the same same tree on the same piece of public. What was it, 3 years apart? The first one could have been the second one's daddy.
Yeah.
Actually, I shot them within that tree. There's a pretty good number of directions you could shoot, and I shot both of them within 10 feet of each other.
Oh, wow.
Dropped both within 10 feet of each other.
Yeah, we're getting all fired up on this deer hunt talk here. Coming up. Some of us hadn't got to go hunting like somebody here, like Mr. Josh. He's already been hunting. We hadn't got to get out after any antlered animals yet.
Yeah, I'm finna go after bulls in about 4 more days. I'm gonna be on the river. I got that same spot there we were at. We had a bull within probably 50 yards.
That same river we talked about before?
No, I ain't getting back on that one. I was careful.
Okay.
All right. No. I ain't getting back on that one. That one, no. And this bull's real close by too. Actually, it was really awesome. It's a blessing. I ain't gotta go far. It's nice. I ain't gotta worry about dying.
Yeah.
Not too much anyway.
Not as much.
As much. It still sink the boat in a heartbeat if I let it. But
yeah.
You guys want to see the deer that broke my heart?
Yeah.
Man.
That was on Fort Hood. They had what you call training areas like that were inside the actual. They weren't training areas as much as they were just like wooded rock stuff on the base, like right in the middle. It was actually right on the other side of the railroad tracks from where you got your CIF, your gear issued. So, I mean, there was like motor pools and stuff all around it. It's just a little patch of woods. And I had that deer figured out, and I wanted to hunt him.
We actually seen him in person.
Oh, I seen him. I seen him one day, probably about 75 yards from where I was, and I had him figured out, and I was going to get him, but you can only have 2 people signed into this training area, and one of the people that worked for the Sportsman's Club there at Fort Hood that managed it would sign him and his wife or his son in every single day. They had 3 people that had hunting license on base, and they would just rotate them and have 2 people signed in every single day. So I decided I was going to hunt anyways, and he called the game warden on me, and he pulled my hunting privileges for the rest of the weekend. Wow. And I was the only one that was trying to hunt that place that was an active duty soldier, and I couldn't hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And celebrating farm life, you are correct. Our deer meat is some of our most coveted meat that we have here. I mean, we have beef and pigs and chickens and all that stuff, but still yet, I think Christine, my wife, would tell you that she loves deer steak above all.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice
there's something about
medium rare backstrap. Ooh.
Yep. Butterfly cut that backstrap.
Inch and a half thick.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's a big what, Angie? Oh man.
Did you see
It'll be so much fun this weekend.
Hey, you wait for the cruise. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I have a feeling on the cruise she might have some of that. She might loosen up a little bit.
Liquid courage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, she might like the races this weekend too. They're a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, she will. She enjoys them.
Yeah. We're not looking forward to the temps, but I mean, we got to deal with it. It's supposed to be in the mid-90s, I think there.
Right.
But anyway, we'll get through it somehow.
Air conditioning. Well, I know it ain't in the car, that car, but the car.
No, and I gotta wear a black suit and all that stuff and a helmet.
Woo.
Yeah, it's all good.
Man.
Flip flops.
So yeah, I think Dale and Nana are going to be there.
Good deal.
Sherry Udell is going to be there. Julie Cook is going to be there. Tony and Angie's going to be there. My brother and his wife are going to be there. And then we're bringing our grandsons. So they're going to be there with us. And we're hoping to do some good. We won money last year, so I don't know why we can't get in it this year. We'll see.
You should, with a little help there, you should be able to bring in something.
Yeah, well, even I think they've got some special stuff they're putting together for these. They've got some call out races, I guess you'd call, and some of those guys, I don't think they realize what's going to get ready to happen. So they don't understand what's getting ready to happen. So
Well, don't show the full thing till you need it.
Oh, I won't. I'm putting together a video right now that shows some passes that we made this weekend at Centerville on the motor, and it was running. Like I said, it was the 8th mile, but if you do the equations, it would be a high 8 1/4 on the motor. And so now we're going to put it quite a bit deeper than that this weekend. So
right,
they don't understand. I mean, that one of the cars that we're running is a blown 66 tube chassis, big tire GTO, and he's been 8s 1/4 and stuff like that. So he thinks I'm no problem, and I'm like, buddy, I can run 8s on the motor without my blower. we put a little bit of squirt to that dude, and
there you go.
Walk off from you.
Game on.
Game on. And the other two run pretty close to what I do, but they have both are tube chassis race cars, and mine's not a tube chassis car. Mine's a 3,400 pound, basically a street car. And so I'm gonna give them their choice on that deal. I'm gonna say, all right, we can do this or we can do that. If y'all can add weight, or I can add nitrous, because they're a lot lighter than me. I'm 3,400 and they're about 2,600 a piece.
Oh, wow. Look at Angie.
What she said, something bad about to happen.
I can't comment. I can't figure out how to make it comment. It will
We are married.
To make a comment,
I just comment from my phone whenever I'm,
Yeah, I got you.
So
it's my first time on live, so I ain't know how. I'm figuring all this out.
I mean, there's a way of doing it on here.
Well, I've been trying to sign in.
It changes. It's a weird way of doing it, and I don't like to deal with it, so I just do it on my phone.
Well, when I came on just regular YouTube, and you click on StreamYard, that opens up a separate tab. So go back to the original YouTube that's open, and you can comment through that one.
Oh, and on our account if it's on ours, but not. That irritates me.
I can't even see the chat. I've never figured that out. So I just if somebody says something, I'll say something. I don't know.
Well, Christine is out there in the chat, and she still needs to talk to you at some point. So, and
I gotta get all this figured out. We're gonna try to do. I said I gotta find somewhere to fit in, because I don't want to do a live on top of nobody. But we're gonna try to do a live. I gotta get Jessica comfortable with a live.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Oh, okay.
So I've got to figure that
Are you
out.
gonna do? Are you gonna use the hashtag tool?
I don't know. That's what we're trying. I think I am, but I have to figure out how to do that because we haven't done any of that. So that's going to be a new deal. That's got to figure it all out.
Yeah. Well, I can tell y'all. I can teach y'all how to do the hashtag tool. Or
I think we're I don't know 1,000. I don't even know where. Just something over 1,000 subscribers now. So
nice.
Yeah, we just made it. I don't know. Been 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Working nights. It's kind of hard to do anything when I'm working nights.
Yeah.
What are your watch?
I remember when we hit 1,000, it took forever for us to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it was like a 2-year ordeal to get to 1,000.
Yeah, I got a pretty decent video. It's got a good part in it with my bull. I'm holding the short. I haven't even put the short out yet, but he made it very interesting on the video. It's going to come out.
Didn't I see a video of a bull named, was it Rufus?
Yeah, yeah.
He got out.
Rufus isn't your bull, is it?
No, we have one, and trust me, we have caught so much slack over this. My wife named our bull Rufus, and I told people, I said, "Look, we didn't purposely do anything. We didn't know about another bull named Rufus. We've caught slack about it." But I'm like, we're not renaming him. I mean, it's kind of like, there's a bunch of people out there with your name. You gonna get mad if because their name is your name. So
okay. Well, I was wondering because the other day I saw a thing about Rufus. And I saw it was you guys, and I'm like,
yeah, we have an Angus, a pure Angus bull named Rufus, and he was very destructive a few days ago. We was trying to catch a cow to save.
So the Rufus that I think that Johnny's talking about, but he's a terrorist.
Yeah,
well,
I know. We have since found that one.
That bull, the other bull, the Hereford bull.
Yeah, the Hereford. Yeah,
that dude. I'm telling you right now, he would have took a trip to town in a trailer a long time ago.
Yeah.
There ain't no way I'd have dealt with that thing.
I got in for the YouTube audience though.
Oh yeah, this one time he parked his 4-wheeler and he went up. I don't know, it was like 30, 40 yards up, and he turned around and he seen his 4-wheeler tumbling down the hill.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, like I said, would have went to town a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put up with that. What happened with mine is mine got spooked. He was eating, and I was just trying to run a yearling in because I was gonna sell a yearling. Well, that yearling come out and hit the pen. Well, it spooked everything. And he got his foot hung up in a feed trough. He throwed the feed trough. It was, it's pretty good. Luckily, we had the camera going and caught every bit of it. So it'll be a pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. We don't do crazy, my wife said. That's right. We don't do crazy. That's why they start getting crazy. They get a trip to town.
Yeah.
I seen you finally got Danny back about a week ago.
Huh?
I seen you were able to touch Danny about a week ago.
Yeah, I just barely touched him, and he, there's been a few times over the last couple of years that I've done that, but usually it's whenever I've been like feeding some cubes or something, and he doesn't realize I'm that close to him.
Right.
And I pet him a couple of times, then he goes, "Oh, wait a minute," and then he realizes I've got my hand on him, and he freaks out. But he don't like it when he sees it coming. He don't like it at all. Yeah, one-way trip to town. That's right.
That's about where you want a bull. You want them friendly enough you can stand right near them and look them over and stuff, but you want them just shy enough from you that they step away when you get close.
He's actually just about perfect. Because if you don't want one that's just really, like a big old lapdog type bull, because they'll hurt you playing with you.
Yeah, they're just so big. They'll just think they're laying their head on you, and in reality, they're putting about 3 times your body weight on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got ours. Jessica has ours eating oatmeal cream pies and stuff now out of her hand, but you can't really put your hand on him too much.
Yeah, Christine says Elmer is going to be a problem. Elmer will be, because Elmer will seek me out to butt me in the leg or something.
You're talking about all that. I've been gone to Florida here for a while, and Angie was talking about the pigs, and she said that Sophie, she couldn't believe something scared Sophie, and she came running toward the fence. It startled her because she didn't even know Sophie could run that fast.
No.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Yeah, them pigs can move on out.
Man, they move.
They can move on out. Better be careful, Angie. Okay,
Yeah.
gotta go. Thanks for enlightening me tonight. Love you guys, even if I'm crazy. See you soon. Yeah, we'll see you this coming weekend.
Yeah, 4:30 comes early for her.
Yeah, I understand.
Pigs will take your knees out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for
But-
coming in.
Hey, there's Dale. Hey, Dale. Yeah.
Dale?
But not too much. That's right. So, pigs are like, if you ever hit one with a car, it's like running over a boulder.
Yeah.
That picture. That hurt. That hurt.
I hit one doing about 70 miles an hour that probably weighed close to 300 pounds.
Yeah. That hurt.
Yeah.
It was.
Blew my radiator.
It literally was, I don't know, it probably took us from about 70 to about 55 real quick. That's how much.
Hey, Dale. I'm guessing ours are probably 400 a piece. More.
I'm on the video still.
Yeah, our pigs are getting a trip to town here in about 2 weeks. Well, they're getting a trip to the processor in about 2 weeks.
Who do you use over in that area?
The Amish over by Shoto.
Yeah, I know where you're talking. Actually, hey, while you're in that area, check out Yoder Dairy. They're right around the corner from them. That's where I bet some raw milk stuff.
You're talking about Thompson's, right? Thompson's is the one I use.
It's just down the road from the Love's travel stop.
I'll be in there in a minute, baby.
Yeah, we're gonna haul them so they'll be processed, and then we've got 2 more steers lined up for the next 2 years for processing here right now, for our meat.
What do they charge a pound?
Hi.
What are they charging a pound for processing?
I think it was 96 cents a pound.
Come on, let's go see Mama.
Yeah. And they did a really, really good job. I mean, they vacuum packed.
Oh, I'm just gonna take you to Mama.
They did an excellent job on that stuff.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're definitely. I wouldn't change anything if you're happy with what you're doing, but keep in mind, Adair Custom Processing up in Adair, they do a really, really good job up there too. That's who we use.
Hey, it's not bad to know 2 or 3 places that do a good job.
We got a video on it. You can see their facility. They got a big window. You can see everything they do in there.
Is that the one that had all the stuff inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you could buy. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that.
There's no smells there. It's very clean.
We had a couple bad experiences in our neighborhood. You know, we have processors 5 minutes down the road, 20 minutes down the road, and we just didn't have a lot of good luck with them. And I went out. I had sold this guy a scale, and I liked the guy. He's a Mennonite, and or comes from the Mennonite community. I don't know if he still is or not, but I liked the guy, and I really liked his facility. I liked what he had going on, and he's grown a lot, like as far as what he offers and stuff now since I first met him. But he's done us a good job on pigs and beef.
Packaging is great. The labeling's great.
Yeah, like 2 steers, and he labeled one Longhorn and then labeled the other one Red Steer, so I'd know which one was which.
Yeah.
This
That's what
last
the guy
one.
uses is a Mennonite. Some Mennonites that does our stuff. They're really good.
Yeah, and then and the butcher we used before him, we got meat back that wasn't even labeled what cut
At
it
all.
was.
Nothing.
We just have a cut of meat in the freezer. Like you'd have to put warm water on it and look in there. What is that?
See, they did over here at the Cherokees over here have opened up a meat processing place called 1839 Meat Company over here in Tahlequah. And one of our friends took their beef over there to have it processed. And they said they just every steak is just listed as chuck steak. So it doesn't matter if it's a porterhouse or a ribeye or a T-bone or what it is. It's all listed as chuck steak. So you've got to go through there and figure it, you got to really look it over and go, okay, well, this is this. And so they only, like all they said was roast or chuck steak and then hamburger. And that was pretty much everything that they got. And they said they couldn't, they're like, and they said it's not even that good. They said it's not cut right. It's just not.
Here's what I found from different butchers. If their processing floor is not cool enough, eventually when they're working on cutting that meat, it gets too warm and they'll run it through the bandsaw and you'll get these cuts where the bone is the right thickness, but the meat has gotten to a point to where it's gotten warm and it deforms. So your meat gets skinny and you got this big old thick bone. Try cooking that in a cast iron.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And celebrating farm life, we have problems with not getting your meat back when taking them processed and get somebody else's meat. We had that problem one time with a deer. I think we killed a buck that dressed 145 or 146, and we took it down there and we got one little grocery bag of them old paper bags of meat bags, and I'm like, that ain't right, because this buck weighed 104. Oh, he was all shot up. No, he wasn't all shot up. He was hit with a bow, and it just went right through him, right behind the leg, and he was and then my cousin went over there. See, my cousin went over there and took a little old 70-pound doe and got 2.5 sacks of meat back. Now, we took them the same day, and I'm going, he got my meat.
We have a place like that here, too.
Yeah, we did that. I took in my dough, and then 5 days later, I think I took in his dough. His dough. And then they called us and said mine was ready, and I said, all right, well, can I just wait to pick up the next one? And they said, oh yeah, sure. Then the next morning, they called me and said, oh, your deer's ready. And I was like, okay.
Well, how did one take 10 days to get back, and the other one take 1 day?
And then one of them, we didn't know which was which in the freezer, but we would pull some meat out and taste it right, and then we'd eat some days. It was like almost, I don't know, tasted.
One of them we picked up was basically dog food.
Yeah.
And we don't take care of deer like that. When we, even like that year we were real busy, we'd come into the butcher that year, but we gut our deer before we take them in. We don't, a lot of people, this is why I don't like taking my deer to get processed, because a lot of people will shoot a deer, drive around with it in the back of the truck, show everybody. Meanwhile, the guts are still in it, and they don't get it to the processor for 3 or 4 hours, and that deer ain't gonna be fit to eat. And if I get that deer back, it's dog food.
Yeah, he's got a buddy that they called us and they said, oh, he shot a deer. Can you come skin it? So we went over to skin it. This time it's been probably 4 hours since he had shot it. So he hadn't even gutted it. And so when he goes to cut it open, our boys were real little. They were like, who farted? And they're yelling. Like, that is why we field dress our deer.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, it's coming up on that time, so that time of year and stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna pop off here, guys. I appreciate y'all letting me come up and everything. I was going to ask you, was somebody that was in the chat a little bit earlier? Was that kind of a troll?
I think so.
I think
That's
so.
what I'm Amy about because I'm like, I have no idea who that Alice.
Yeah, let me up. Let me up. Let me up. Yeah.
Well,
If they do that, don't let them up.
I was trying to figure out. I kind of was wondering if that Chris guy, if that might have been somebody connected to him, the guy that came up earlier that was talking about his cousin.
Well, I was wondering if your friend Bob was here tonight.
He
popped in. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know where. I guess he's from Canada. I don't know what his deal is for sure, but I think he's a little socialist.
Well, he's pretty much like, he don't like me.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a hater. And I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Yep.
Maybe I think he's definitely a lot younger. I feel like he's probably like 20 years old.
Thanks, Amy. We'll see ya. We're hopping off here too in a minute.
Good night, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Hope to see everybody that wants to come to the races. Come on down.
See you this weekend, Johnny.
We'll see y'all.
See ya. Thank y'all for coming on. Oh man.
Well,
all right.
I guess it is getting that time.
I'm tapping out too.
Still daylight there.
What time is it there in Alaska right now?
7:58.
3 hours behind.
3 hours difference. 10:58.
You're basically in Russia.
10:58 too. Yeah.
Basically. I can't see it from my house. And that TV show, they couldn't see it from their house. That was just a TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an island that we have that's off the coast of Alaska that you can see Russia from.
What was the name of that? Browntown.
Oh,
Browntown.
Bush. Oh, one Bush.
Oh,
what's that show?
Alaskan Bush people.
Oh Lord.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, it's Alaska Bush people. Yeah, them good groovy. Them been there. They've been here too long. And they are legit people running around. I mean, they're everywhere, but like the dark, I think, really does something to you. And they're a prime example of the dark doing a little too much to you, I believe. You know? Yeah. It will get, it vice versa. We got the midnight sun. We get 23 hours of daylight in like June, July. Some of August is starting to get down to like 20 hours of daylight. But then it's vice versa in the wintertime. Wintertime, it's the same. Then it's, 20 hours of dark. Sunrise is at like, was it 12 o'clock? 11:30 or 12 is the sunrise. Sunset is at 2:30 or 3. And then it's dusk. It's a lot of dusk and then pitch black for the rest of it.
I think that would be the hardest part for me about
the light ain't bad. Yeah, light ain't bad. It's a blessing because, if it wasn't for having all that light, you couldn't get a lot done in a short period of time. We don't have snow on the ground.
Right.
And, so that's a blessing. And it's not bad. You can just pull shades down, that we have blackout shades. And you can make it like it's dark in the house, but it's the dark. You can't, you can flick a switch, but it's just not the same,
Yeah.
And it'll get rough.
So that's always been the catch for me. My favorite time of the year is the fall, but it's also the roughest time of the year because we lose our long days and stuff too here.
Right.
We go to work when the sun's down, and we get home when the sun's down. So, that's kind of depressing, So I don't know how I could handle it being up there in Alaska.
Right. Yeah, and the snow, at least where we're at, like Mr. Dale's saying, we have snow on the ground longer than we don't have snow on the ground. So, like, that's what people get, like, the biggest, I think, some of the biggest misconceptions is, like, anywhere else in the 48, you get snow, I get it, but it melts within a few weeks at best. You know, here it never melts. It waits till 7 months and then it melts. So all it does is just build and build and build and build. And I'm having a snowshoe or snow machine for 7 months. You know, so that's the difference. It doesn't just melt and go back and you get a little and it melts and it comes and goes. No, it's here the whole stinking wonderful time. So,
but you love being there
the whole wonderful time.
The whole wonderful time. Because about 5 months, everybody's like, it's time. Like it needs to go. You know, if you hold out that long. But the biggest plus is winter solstice, which is December 21st, because then we start gaining 7 minutes of daylight a day, and you really don't notice it until about probably 2 months after. You know, getting into February is when you start noticing, like, oh, sunrise is at 9:50 today, so it's like, oh wow, it's almost 10 o'clock and I can see the sun rise. You'll start noticing that, and then it seems like, but even that mark, knowing mentally you're gaining, helps me out a lot, knowing that we're gaining now. Even though winter's still got a long way to go, it's like at least we're getting more daylight, even though it doesn't seem like it for a while. Right. But the cold, like you're saying, and the cold too, like a lot of people like, oh, with the wind chill, it's 20 below. I'm like, well, dude, that's normal winter temp. Actual temp is 20 below. That's normal. You know what I mean? Like 50 below is our cold. 40 is starting to get uncomfortable. 50 below is like, yeah, I'm going to do my animal chores and get the heck back inside and do something inside, because 50 below is just everything. Plastic just snaps like that. It just, you snap plastic like nothing, like absolutely. Oh, I did a video on my old channel it was 40 below. And I took a quart of oil out of my truck and turned a quart of oil upside down, and it took almost a minute for it to start flowing. And then it corkscrews going down. And then at 40 below, so you have to have, all our vehicles here are winterized. They have little heaters, little heating pads that are siliconed onto your oil pan, your transmission pan, your batteries. And depending on what the other rig, certain rigs might need more, than that. You have that, and then you plug in your vehicle to your house, or if you're off grid, your generator and all. And, but, so, and I do this because, off grid, I don't know. There's so much. I get kind of tired of it. So, like, honestly, that's kind of my grief with it. That's like, we're so independent because we're off grid, Bummy. Yet you're dependent on the generator, the fuel, China to supply parts. Whatever, buddy. Bless your heart. Whatever, dude. Because I'm on grid, so there's a lot of this, like, Alaska. I poop in a bucket, so I'm more Alaska than you. And I'm like, whatever. But hey, whatever floats your goat, man. But anyway, no, like you have to plug in your vehicle, especially around 30 below, 20 below. It's not good for it. You'll hit your starter will be whining, and the truck will be whining, and everything else. But you have to plan out your day if you're going to leave. At least I do. They do make timers and all, but you can leave it plugged in, and it'll come on and go off, and come on and go off and stuff. And at least they are cats. Also, what are you saying, Mr.
He's talking about the LSU.
Oh. Okay, I'm about to say, I mean, we got cats, but that's one thing, and it's sad, but there's no problem with stray animals here. We don't have stray dogs or cats, and it's kind of unfortunate, but the winter, I mean, it's just all, there's no stray cats or dogs for very long, just because of that. So it's rough. I mean, it is rough, but I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, I'm telling you. I'm born and raised South Alabama. If I can do it, y'all can do it. Anybody?
When you get there, it's necessity. Now you have to.
No, you ain't got a choice. And I mean, it's kind of nice because, I needed to kind of kick in my pants because, especially with depression and anxiety and on and off one that just ended, it give you a sense of purpose again, because then it's like you have to do it. There's no like,
I've talked about this so many times. We would have a lot less of all the mental health problems or drug problems or alcohol problems in this world if people had to try harder. to
Oh,
survive.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
If people try harder, we would have less of those problems. You
Right.
know, like down here where it's warm, you can be homeless because you're only going to go through 2 or 3 days of cold weather. All you got to do is hunker down or go to a shelter for 2 or 3 days, and then you're back to the bridge. It ain't that hard. Somebody's going to give you a meal. They're going to give you that meal ticket for the day.
Right.
You go somewhere hard, you ain't going to get that.
No, it's you find out who you are, but like saying anybody could really do it. I mean, there's a lot of people I could never do it. You can do a lot more. Everybody is far more capable than what you really think you are. I guarantee you, everybody is more capable of what they think they are. And for me, like I found out that I could do this here, and then if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of wanting to, and being in the situation here is nice because you ain't got a choice. So it may, either you're gonna go right back down or you're gonna stay you'll have to grind it out and figure it out. And so anyway, it gave me a sense of purpose again that it wasn't like a kind of, I think like an animal in a zoo, at least for me in depression, it just took everything from me. I didn't care about hunting, fishing. I didn't care about anything. And here it made me, with winter, it's kind of like down there, like I'd say for Oklahoma, you get a real bad tornado and everybody kind of comes together. It humbles everybody that's affected. And down where I'm from, like, was it Mr. Trey, hurricanes and all, that's a one time that I can think of that no matter, a lot of people put their differences aside and you kind of help everybody. And that's what the one thing that's real good about the winter here being so long. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, you're left, right. That's the common denominator is everybody has to go through winter. So it kind of keeps somewhat of a camaraderie, even if you're on different fences and stuff because of the winter time, So I like that aspect of it. It's similar, like I say, a hurricane just doesn't last as long, then everybody kind of goes back to what they were doing until the next major,
No need for shade relief for the next 3 months.
Yeah, but if I lived there, you wouldn't want to see me because I would not be happy. I hate the cold so much. I turn into a totally different person when it's cold.
Oh. And celebrating farm life. Yeah, mine is all one word, like it is in my thing right there. And I know a lot of people wonder, like I'm bad about describing why my channel is called Like the Oranges. My old channel had Alaska in the name, and I kind of got burned on having, there's a lot of reasons why I restarted, but part of it it's just, I felt bad in a way because I'm not from here. I know I feel like how people there's some channels and some TV shows that kind of portray like Alaska's holier than thou, to put it in a biblical terminology, and and a lot of people I know that kind of get burned on that Alaska stuff because it's like, oh, we're in Alaska and we're whatever. And I'm first to tell you, like I say, it ain't peaches and cream, not just the winter. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about Alaska that stinks. Like our state government's real whack, and Fish and Game is really not great at all. They're terrible managers of our resources and stuff. And so it's not all like what the show makes it out like. There's a lot of people that think if I could get here, then it'd be just so great. I'm like, there's a lot of stinky things about here. It's not, not just the winter. I mean, like things that you got to deal with working and, just political sides and stuff. It's not, it's not all like it, so, but anyway, so my old channel my old channel used to be called the Southern Roots Alaskan Branches. And, but I restarted it and I didn't want Alaska in my name because there's enough Alaska channels. I ain't knocking them, but there's enough. But my last name is Valencia, like the oranges, that's been my whole life is Valencia oranges. Everybody associates my last name to the actual orange. So that's why I called it Like the Oranges, because my last name is Valencia. It's Like the Oranges. That's what everybody was like. They didn't know how to spell it. And they're like, oh, you mean Like the Oranges? I'm like, yep. So it's just a spin off my last name. That's all it is. I just wanted, more of a vlogging kind of what we're doing and giving the credit, everything we do, everything we have to God, because we're up here because of God. And so that's why I wanted to restart. And that's what my name, the channel's like that. And most people don't associate it with Alaska, which is fine, but anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Alaska's not all peaches and cream, y'all. Trust me. And there's a lot of fanboys for Alaska that will only tell you that it's the greatest place in the world. I would do my own research, put it that way. Okay. I'll try to be honest with everybody about, like I say, I'm from the South, born and raised, and I'm proud of being from Alabama. And there's a lot of things in Alabama that smoke this place, man. So like, and honestly, to me, fishing and hunting absolutely is 1,000 times better in South Alabama, 100%, because you're more successful. I mean, if you're all in it for views,
do you think
sure.
do you think in Alaska you kind of talked about how fast quotas get filled and everything? Do you think there's a lot more room for animals to be harvested? They just don't allow you, or what?
For residents, the problem is we got such a big guiding industry, and we have the biggest, like compared to your big top guiding states like Idaho, Montana, them big out west states that have a huge guiding. We are like double the amount of regulation. We have double the leniency for non-residents. So I'm not against guiding, but it's like the state gives like half of what we could hunt towards the non-residents, whereas other states are like 25%. So if you're, we're living here dealing with the winters and, the high prices, like, I just seen the other day, like Alaska is the absolute worst state to retire in, 100%. And they're not kidding. It's extremely expensive. Like my property taxes, y'all would probably choke. My property taxes are almost $4,000 a year.
What?
Oh yeah. In Alabama, I was paying $400 or $300. We don't got sales tax. We got sales tax, but I mean everything is literally almost twice as much in a lot of ways. So
Josh,
it's not cheap. Even off gridders. You know what I'm saying? You're working. If you're off grid, you must have one heck of a 401k you're living off of, because you're gonna have to work off grid or not. I don't care. And every off gridder I know just about has a full-time job because they can't afford to be off grid and like live cheaper. I mean, it's a little cheaper, but it's not a whole bunch. It's in no way, shape, or form. You're like saving a ton of money, So anyway, it's just really, there's, like I say, there's not tons of cons too. It's not pros is the freedom we have. I mean, the whole state is only 1% privately owned. So 99% of our whole state is public land. And you can take a four-wheeler and drive 100 miles one way on a logging road, and you're totally legal. Or you can just go. You can go through state-sized chunks of land that have no people in it. Like you were talking about, Dakota. You can just go. But there's not a lot of game. Honestly, there's not a lot of game because and honestly too, it's between guiding and the winter. I mean, everything has to survive the winter. We get a lot of die off from the winter, and like wolves and stuff are real hard on the moose calves and caribou and stuff. And bears are real hard on them too. So, it's not as plentiful. I guess that's the biggest thing is like, where I'm from down there, I guarantee you, I will come home with fish every time. Every time. It may not be my target species, but if I was starving, I'll eat that hard-head catfish. I'll eat that sail cat. Whatever. Here there's like 3 fish in the river all at 24/7. Three kinds that are considered, like I say, are an edible fish. Like even I'm talking like low standards, still edible. And even them are highly regulated. So it's just not. It's a whole different ball game. It's not, like I say, unless you have the money or the debt to go out and and spend $5-10 grand to go kill a moose or something, have better odds. Your average Joe, like I was saying, I mean, their average guy is fortunate to kill one bull in 3 years. Fortunate to kill one. But honestly, it's really 4 to 5.
They don't talk. They don't. When they're talking up Alaska, they don't mention stuff like that.
No. Those TV shows got all the money in the world. So they just, yeah, it's not, and that's why I try to be, because I for me being from down there, I see all the smoke. I see through the smoke, it's not, like I'm saying, I know what it was like down there, and and the people that are honest here, the honest Alaskans will tell you, like, yeah, man, it ain't what people think it is. But there's equal that are like fanboys. I just say they're just like, there's nothing wrong. What are you talking about? This is the greatest state in the world, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm like, okay, buddy. I mean, you've never come out of Alaska, apparently, like ever, and and hey, whatever, whatever, that's their opinion, fine. But, I, especially on YouTube, there's a lot of people all over the world that watch our stuff, and I try to be, honest with everybody. Like, man, if you want to move, I don't want to discourage nobody from wanting to come up here. But like this, I try to, and certain parts of Alaska are better than other parts. Like some parts have, the salmon, they're close by the salmon, but they're ways away from caribou, or they're ways away from something. So you're driving some kind of distance to get to something. I don't care where you're living at. You know what I mean? So, they're going to get you one way or another. Like when fuel costs and stuff, like gas here is almost $4 a gallon. And, and if you get way out, if you can go to a village, gas is like $8 a gallon. If you get way out where you're trying to cover like way out, gas you have to pay for that hauling fee. So gas $7-8 a gallon. So anyway, it's not, you can hunt around town and just hope for the best kind of thing, but it's not like ain't like the shows. Like I say, shows got all the money in the world. They can drop some guy off in prime real estate, or fly over with a plane. And you're not technically supposed to legally. If you fly in a plane and you spot a moose, you cannot hunt the same day you fly. But who's out there? I mean, it's very, very, whatever. So you can, on a plane, you can just fly over and be like, oh, there's a bull. Set the plane down, walk over and shoot him. It's against the law. But who's out there? You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? But then the plane trip, I mean, just for me as a resident and knowing a guy with a plane, it was $3,000 just to drop my butt off for a week. And I'm on my own. There's no help, no nothing. And I better be at that spot in a week. And $3,000 off the top, plus my time, I could be working or doing something else. And that's a buddy discount. I'm like, I thought we were friends. Like, dang, dude, $3,000. So like, it's just, it's not, for me, because I try to justify everything. If I'm going to spend $3,000, I'll go get a cow, out at the butcher shop. That's guaranteed. And I'll just try to go in the woods and have play hunting and hope for the best, but around town, but
that's how I am. Like, I see people shooting great big antlers, great big old horns all the time.
Right.
And to me, it comes down to just being in the woods and shooting a deer, putting meat in the freezer.
Yes.
I just can't wrap my mind around these people. I mean, here in Oklahoma, people will go drop $10,000, $15,000 on a hunting lease just so that they can go shoot a big deer and get Instagram pictures with it.
Right.
And right. Like, if I shoot a 130 deer on public land, I will be way more proud of that thing than 180 deer that I just paid $50,000.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what residents here are all almost most residents here are meat hunters. But because of guiding, that's what I was getting back to. The guiding thing is they make our regulations, our fishing game or hunting board, game and fish is like 9 out of 10 people there were guides or part of some kind of guiding outfit. So you know what they're going to do. Well, most of our regulation, I mean, almost all of them are set for the non-resident hunters up here. So like for a bull moose, most areas here, they have to be 50 inches or better before they're legal to shoot, or a spike fork, which a spike fork is the luck of the draw. It's a little bitty guy. Or I take it back. It's 50 inches or better, or he's got to have 3 or 4 brow tines on one side. But that's also a lot harder. It's just genetic. It's not like, a standard typical buck that's an 8-point or a 6-point or something like that. They just throw brow tines pure on genetics. It's not if he's 50, he's going to have 3 brow tines. You can see a bunch of 50s that's only got 2, or a 49-incher that has 2 brow tines. And that man will take your truck, fine you $10,000, take your gun, and you're going to go to a court for shooting a deer or a moose that's 49 inches because, that's the one moose you've seen in 3 years.
I've never agreed with antler restrictions on deer because there's been like in Texas, they got those antler restrictions and stuff. Like if it's not outside the ears, you can't shoot it. Well,
Right.
I've seen 6-7-year-old deer that don't have
Right.
antlers outside their
Right.
ears.
It's
So how you
genetic.
gonna tell a man he can't shoot this deer just because of how wide its antlers are?
Right. Yeah, it's yeah. Oh, and Mr. Dale. So you're talking about the gelling, the diesel fuel gelling. So here, as far as my part of Alaska, in the interior, all the fuel stations here around September, they all have anti-gel in your diesel fuel at the pump. Like that's automatic. And to my understanding, we only have non-ethanol fuel as well. Like for gas, like they don't sell ethanol fuel here. It's only because of the water issue, freezing issues and stuff like that.
Right.
So everything is supposedly, to my understanding on that, but I know the diesel fuel thing. That's all our fuel stations have anti-gel in it. But even then, like on your tractors and stuff, some of them don't it's not enough. So then you'll still have to add a little bit of anti-gel because I've had some loaders and stuff I've ran that have gelled up. When we get into like 45 below, because it'll start gelling about 20 below. And then depending on the machine and the fuel system and how well that is, it seems that you'll run into trouble. But at least for pickups and everything, they're pretty good about it from the fuel pump. But tractors and stuff like that have fuel. A lot of them get diesel from the summertime or something stuck in them, and they don't got any anti-gel in them. So then those ones will struggle sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so it's not, what I'm saying? I want to almost do a video just like our rule book, just to show like how they dictate stuff, like from this side of the river to this other side of the river, and then north of this side of the river to the bottom of this river, that area, that area is this rule. And then the other side of the river to this side of another river. It like, I literally have told Fish and Game, like, man, I haven't had my lawyer look over this yet. But could y'all just tell me, like, because I'm straight up a little bit kind of hard on him, because I'm like, dude, this is like your average Joe moving here. It's like overwhelming of like, I've had a lot of old timers who are like, put money back because they're going to get you. You're not going to mean to, but they're going to get you. So you better just put some money back for the ticket. And I'm like, I kind of see that now. Like, good Lord. I mean, man, so because I'm not used to that though. There's other states that have that kind of stuff. I'm not. Alabama's just like, go kill them. I mean, they don't care. It's like, we don't have tags. You can kill a doe a day in Alabama for 4 months straight if you want to. Literally.
There you go, Dale. That
You
answers
can
your
kill a
question.
doe a day in Alabama. That's why I'm like, that was the promised land. Now I'm like, that was the promised land. I'm in the desert with the Israelites. I mean, back with the Israelites in the desert over here, man. Compared to down there, it's like, as far as being successful, that's what I'm in it for. I'm trying to fill the freezer and feed my family from the land, and here's a lot of people that I just want to be out in the woods and it's beautiful to look at the mountains. I'm like, well, them mountains won't feed you, dude. You'll starve to death looking at them mountains. That's what I think of. You will starve to death looking at the trees. They're nice for like 5 seconds. And I'm like, all right, where's something brown I can shoot? That's what I care about. I don't, but like I was saying that, but some people like, I just want to get out there and do it. And I'm like, well, that's fine, dude. That's what you want to do, but I'm in it for meat, man. I'm not doing this for funsies. This costs too much darn money just to come out here for funsies.
Right.
So,
Bill said, all fun and games until your tractor is trying to run on jelly.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, Oklahoma, when it gets into
they don't like jelly.
Temperatures, it just shuts down. I mean, semi trucks gelled up everywhere. You'll see them getting towed all over the place, parked on the side of the interstates. Scale business, we pretty much shut down for, till we get above 15 or 20 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. And every truck's different too.
But like when our company orders trucks, they'll order them with oil heaters, but that's it. It only keeps the oil warm. Like, if your fuel lines freeze, you're just done.
You're done. Yeah. And like here, I say you got to have transmission and all that stuff. Cause I've known so many horror stories. If you crank it up and go, if it cranks up at 40 below, and that's a big if. Some vehicles are just, nope. It'll just, won't do nothing. It's just locked.
How'd that go again?
It'll just, nope. But if it does, I've heard people that I mean, I know personally a guy that threw it in reverse at 40 below because he was in a hurry and like for something, I don't know what, but threw it in reverse and transmission just boom. I mean, blow it all through the pan and everything because it's so cold. It just toosh.
You have to worry about the rear ends too, the rear gears also, or
I'm surprised that they didn't, but nobody really. It's just run a real thin, your gear oil real thin
with 30 weight or something, or
something like that, real thin. But not the gear oils seem pretty good, but like your T case as well. Like T cases seem okay, your transfer case.
right?
But maybe because there's not a whole lot going on compared to it's just a chain mostly versus like transmission like an automatic or something. But and then like trucks, like diesel trucks. Now my wife's got a 7.3 Power Stroke Excursion. That thing don't like 10 to 0. It's like I'm about done. Without plugging it in, it's like nope.
Oh yeah.
I had a 6.7 Cummins in a 08 Dodge. It would go down about 20 below, but it don't use glow plugs. It uses a grid air heat. It heats the air. It don't use glow plugs. So it was a little bit better about it. It ain't good for it though, but it would do it, but every truck, certain diesels are better or can tolerate it. I'll say better. It's not good for any of them, but to just cold start them at 20 below. But, yeah, but it's another animal, like I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's extremely, like I say, that's why I seen it the other day. They were saying that's like the worst place to retire. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I guess so many people leave because there's hardly any old folk here. They're just like, you can't afford on retirement. It'll eat you out. I mean, your retirement will be gone, and then like a lot of older people that want to fish and hunt here can't do it because it's just so hard. The current that we have, most of our rivers are trucking between 7 to 9 miles an hour. The current is going that fast. And, an old guy by himself, it ain't happening. It's just, even for me, it's rough sometimes. And, but now I get to talking about down south and I'm like, man, I have so many good old friends, 80 years old down there by themselves. They could launch their boat. They could fish, come back with a mess of fish, clean them up. They could still get down there and do it. You ain't doing that here. I mean, you have to have somebody with them because they can't hunt. They can't fish like that. Even though they want to so bad, they have to have somebody to go with them, and down there you ain't got, I mean, yes, some of them do, don't get me wrong, but
a lot of the public land down, around here and many states down here, you could park and walk 50 yards out in the woods and shoot a deer.
Right.
You ain't got to get that serious if all you're trying to do is put a deer in the freezer.
Right. Yeah. And like we had like most of y'all probably got hogs and stuff too. Them are always around. You bust them hogs. I love eating them. And stuff like that. But like I say, it's pros and cons. You got all the freedom to go anywhere. But I mean, if you're trying to hunt and fish, man, it's not, it ain't like the shows, you know what I mean? And there's so many people trying to do it because, like I was told people in Alabama, I mean, there's 5 million people in Alabama, and it takes almost 13 Alabamas to equal the size of Alaska. Almost. And for reference, we got 750,000 people. But per percentage of hunters, I guarantee you, it's like half of our state at least are hunters. Versus like down there, it's probably like 5% or something. I mean, it don't seem like, out of 5 million people, it doesn't seem like there's actually that many if you consider how many people are there. There's very few people that actually do it for me, on the table. So you just don't get that I mean, there's people out there hunting on public land. I mainly hunt public land down there, but it's just not like there's a ton of people, what it could be. Whereas here, you think you'd have all this wide open spaces to go, but it's like, man, there is a person, no matter where you go, there is like somebody everywhere because there's just so many, the percentage of people here is like, what else you going to do? I mean, really it's hunt, fish, and trap, which is cool, but it's just like, you just gonna work. I mean, and I don't mind working, but it gets discouraging when you keep going and you only have like a little window to go, to make it happen. And then you're stuck for another 365 days for that little bitty window to make something, to try to get something down for your family. It gets discouraging, at least for me when I'm used to getting something, Right. And, so anyway, yeah, it's just, like I say, it's not all peaches and cream. I try to, I'll just be honest with people. Like, it's not, grass ain't always greener, as they'll saying, I mean, 100%. It is not always greener. Of course, this is my opinion, whatever. But to me, being from down there, I try to be real with people and think about what I thought about when I was down there. I always thought it was super cool, and then like, man, it shows game everywhere. I'm like, dude, it ain't at least for me, it ain't like that.
The video thing, Alaskan big game hunter.
No, you're gonna starve to death. I mean, you ain't gonna, if you're a blue collar guy, you're gonna be a lot of good photographs of sunsets or something. That's about all you got, maybe. But that's if you're a blue collar guy, like I was saying, or you're willing to go into massive debt to get out there to kill a moose. Like I'd have to kill, how many moose with $100,000 boat to justify that thing? I can't justify that, or a side by side that's like 40 grand. No, I'd have to kill like 20, 40 moose to make that worth it. And it's still like, it's still up in the air if you're going to, there's just very few, moose compared to whitetails, around. And then with the restrictions and stuff, it makes it even harder. So, celebrating farm life. Yeah. TV is magical. But it's not. At least for me, like I say, this is all my opinion, and there's somebody I'm sure to be like, oh, God, whatever. But yeah, like I say, I try to be real with what is it, there's pros, there's a lot of cons too, though, man. It's not like I'm saying. So anyway, get off my soapbox. But yeah. So
I'm watching Simply Live in Alaska. I like their show. Simply Live in Alaska. I like their show.
Oh, Simple Live, yeah. They're good people.
They show that when they went hunting, they didn't get nothing. They showed whenever they were fishing at one time, they didn't get much. They did show the netting, and it was real. Yours looked a lot. They did the same thing you did at that river. It's wild. They did the same thing. You were more right there. And it's the same thing, though. But yeah.
Right. And I know they do a lot of the things, like I was saying, but it's
right, Dale.
You got to be real careful. And everybody that's on YouTube knows, like, how you film and how you edit. You can make a lot of things look a whole nother way than it actually is. And like, I only film a certain way because of privacy from my neighbors. I feel it's not right to have them in frame of their house, but I've got neighbors right here and they're good people.
I seen one time you did a video and you turned it. It was like, oh, I didn't know there was a house there.
Yeah, I try not to, just out of respect for people. Like we're on the lake behind the house. There's like 4 houses right there on the other side of the lake with me. But on a lot of them TV shows, I personally know some people that was on the Life Below Zero. I was in the town of one of those guys in Nenana. And that guy, they portray he's on the river and he's out in the middle of nowhere. Well, fun fact is when I get in Nenana, get to talking to people, and they're like, they don't watch that show. They live in Alaska. They don't watch Life Below Zero. And I was telling them, like, yeah, they showed this guy. They're like, oh, Jesse? His name's Jesse Home? Yeah. Oh, he goes to the gas station every morning and get a cup of coffee. I'm like, what are you talking about? What I mean? But it's all, it's all how you film it, man. They film it like, so it's, you could be as trustworthy or untrustworthy as you want. You know what I mean? And like I say, for me, it's only for privacy reasons, is I don't think it's right to put people's, my neighbor's stuff in my videos to people, because you're on the internet, it's going all over the place.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things you can do to make it look like you were out in the boondocks. You know what I mean? Anywhere. You know what I mean? So,
Josh, when you do your lives, your volume goes bad. It's doing it right now.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it did earlier, about 10 minutes ago.
Dang phone. I do everything on my phone, so it's like as far as phones go, it's like 4 years old, so it's probably on its last leg. Honestly,
for example, on making things look, easier or however you want them to look. We did a video on snagging back in the spring. We went snagging. And if you just watch that video, we catch a boatload of fish. We reel in a dozen, or more fish while we're snagging. But what you don't see is we were standing there for probably 8 hours snagging. You watch a 30-minute video. It looks like a blast.
Yeah,
but if you ain't ready to put in the work.
Yeah. Y'all are in the money, yeah. Yeah, and that's what like a lot of them show, and I think anywhere you go, you have that, but there's a lot of, because of all the Alaska shows, a lot of YouTube channels want to also kind of do that same kind of thing and only show the good, or don't, or hide the fact that, like, hey, I'm like a closet millionaire, but I'm going to portray like I'm struggling to death, there's a lot of that, you know what I mean? So, you just got to take it with a grain of salt in a lot of ways, unfortunately. For me, just being being up here, I've kind of I'm like, dude, y'all are, like, no, no, but, it's not my place to call them out, I don't think, but, at least on their channel, but yeah, it just is what it is. There's a lot of anywhere you go, that kind of thing, but, I just kind of, with the Alaska channels, I just kind of got burned on a lot of them, honestly, and I just I follow people like y'all. I want to watch people from somewhere else. Y'all get to do stuff I don't get to do. There's so much things y'all have that we have nothing of the sort. And I miss a lot of that stuff.
There's one thing else Alaskan. His first name begins with an R, and I think R-U-D.
Yeah.
He's pretty fake.
Oh, he's 100% fake.
Yeah. I figured out after a while. I started watching it, and I said, he's fake.
I'm pretty sure I know you're talking about. I personally have hung out with that guy more than once and been to his house.
Yeah. Yes. I remember you telling that story.
Okay. Yeah. He's 100. So they're out there. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, but as soon as that camera comes on, it's like YouTube mode. Camera, push the button off. Normal guy again. And total different guy. Night and day different guy. And that just burns me, man. Just be yourself. I can't. It's really hard to take anybody seriously that's not real. And yeah, so like I quit following. Then that's what opened my eyes to a lot of like, oh wow. I always try to take the better of everybody. But then when something like that, I'm like, man, that's unfortunate that now, and then I start picking up more and more, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of, it's Facebook 2.0. I like to say YouTube is Facebook 2.0. I mean, you can edit, you can do whatever you want. Lives are the only real, somewhat real thing is a live, but it's just Facebook 2.0. You can film and edit and pull stuff from other people's video, paste it all in there and get rid of the acne and bam, but or like for me, my crappy beard, but yeah, it just like I wish I had Dakota beard, man. That's what I inspired me. I just say whiskers. I don't even like calling what I have a beard. It's just whiskers. I'm like a catfish. I just got a few. But this is all I got, so I gotta, it's like, hey, I gotta make lemonade with lemons, man. But
there you go.
But
hey guys, I gotta get up too early, so.
Yeah, it's almost midnight here.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I got a baby in my lap right now asleep. So he finally passed out. Good grief.
You'll have a great night.
Yeah, y'all too. Thank you so much for letting us come on.
Oh yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Real nice meeting y'all. And everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat. I'm sorry I can't see it.
Thanks for coming on, Trey.
Thank y'all, guys.
All right,
y'all. Josh will give you a call next day or two.
All right, Uncle Tony. Yeah. All right. Have a blessed night.
Later, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
All right.
Celebration life. Oh my gosh, that was a long one.